Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Monday night show podcast format where we take a look at some of the biggest gaming news currently hitting the Nintendo Switch and even this week other systems. But not only that, we're also going to be taking a look at all the new Switch games coming out for this week. And part of me thinks that the developers want to kill me. Honestly, a part of me thinks they really want to kill me because there are so many games this week. It is actually insane. Like, I thought nothing would top last week, but this week, there's even more. And even when I was looking at, okay, let's cut this one or that one out, it was almost impossible because so many of these games seem like they have insane potential. And even like some of them, I would say confirmed potential. So, by the way, I'm still getting things set up because, just as usual, I'm always like setting up the stream a little bit last minute on Mondays. It's the only time we can really do this, but at the same time, Mondays is a big day. Like work till 5, get home, make supper with the kids, try to spend a little time with the wife, and then I've got to get the stream ready. In the meantime, I'm getting sort of the stories ready and all that stuff that we want to cover. So to not start the podcast even later, I'm sort of just doing a few last minute setups for us this week. And there are so many games. I'm telling you, like, seriously, I'm laughing, but I'm not at the same time. We're most likely going to try and streamline this a little bit because yes, last week was already like an hour and a half of gaming trailers. And I obviously want to give my take on all of them, but I am going to maybe try to streamline my takes for this week. And part of me is looking forward to getting out of this crazy like pre-holiday season. And I say it every week. Message to developers, I can't believe that this is good for them. With this many games coming out, people don't have time to play all of these or even buy like money to buy all of these. So I'm wondering like how many of these games are going to get lost in translation just because there's so many games coming out at the same time. Like if they would have released these games 2 weeks, like I said, 3 weeks ago, there was nothing happening 3 weeks ago. I had to dig to find decent games. But this week, I'm like going freaking insane. Um, so yeah, basically that is that. Um, okay. So we're going to do a few quick stories. So voluntarily, I'm going to keep the stories this week pretty light, okay? Because like I said, we have something like 20 games to look at coming out this week. 20 games. And I would say out of the 20 games, like 14 of them are like top quality games. Like with maybe I didn't want to cut any of the indies out because that's sort of where where the channel is sort of. I love highlighting the indies that other people's don't. So there's like a few indies sprinkled in, but to be honest, like there's like 14 high quality games. But first of all, I just want to say a quick hi to everyone I can see in this chat. Squirrel, welcome. Champ Dancer, Frenchie Mom, Brian, welcome. And Andrew, welcome as well. So as you're doing an excellent job, but don't forget to hit that like button as you come on into the chat. But we're going to start right away with a few of the stories. Okay, we're going to jump straight in because I do want to sleep at one point in my life. And the only way that's going to happen is we're going to get started on stuff. So I've got a few really, really quick updates, but they are updates that I find extremely interesting. And of course, I hit the wrong button here. So let me just open this back. Yep. Okay. First, we're going to look at a really quick Twitter post here. Okay, let's go. Let's flip over. We're going to get this thing started. We're going to get things started slowly. So first, we're going to be looking at a really quick Twitter post, and it's also partially going to explain why a particular game has not been on eShop deals for a little while, and that is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Now, this game has been dancing on and off the eShop deals lists for the following reasons. The game released, and on Switch, the game was pretty much broken. A lot of input delay, a lot of problems with the game. They fixed the game, everything went good, so the game started showing up on eShop deals. Then, what happened? Well, they put out DLC for the game, and again, the game gets broken on Switch. So, at that point, I hadn't jumped into the DLC, but a few people in the comments did point out that the DLC was broken. Like, it's maybe not a good idea to suggest the game. So I checked it out, and you're right, the game was broken again in parts. Well, basically, and they've been dancing back and forth like this, which is something that is super, super sad because, honestly, the base game is really awesome. The base game is really fun. It's just, I wish they could get it in a good situation on Switch. And honestly, if they have to release the updates later on the Switch and make sure that they're fixed before they release them, I would prefer that than them breaking the game every like 6 months. Okay? So that's just a message out there. Like, why don't you just delay it and release the freaking game on Switch, like the expansions and the patches to the Switch, but already fixed. Make them come out later, but stop breaking the game, because that way I can keep suggesting it on eShop deals. But I'm always scared to suggest it because honestly, I haven't had time to keep up with all the updates. Too many games coming out. I haven't returned to the game every time they've released new like content for it. And about every time they release content, they break something. Okay? But the good news is that theoretically tomorrow on October 24th, there is an update 1.6 that is going to arrive, and it should once again fix the Switch version. So the update fixes bugs, including the store soft lock, because yes, the store was soft locking. Classic mode slow loads. So if you're playing in classic mode, there was basically like loading problems. And the Nintendo Switch Glacial Tomb Crash, which is the one I knew about specifically because some people had pointed it out and said, don't suggest the game because it just crashes, okay? So fingers crossed, they're going to finally fix the game. And like I said, dude, why are they doing this to the game every 6 months? I haven't suggested the game in over a year because in over a year, the game works for like 3 months before they repatch it. And until they re-release some extra content that breaks it again. So it's a sad situation because the base game itself is amazing. The Curse of the Moon games are freaking amazing. They just need to get their shit together and like start making sure that when they release an update, it runs everywhere. Yeah, honestly, on Series X and PS5, you generally don't have a lot of these issues. Although the store soft lock, I think, was happening on all systems. I can't vouch for it because I haven't played it on other systems. But when I checked up on it, apparently it was happening on all systems. It just happened way more on the Switch. And the Switch, like I said, had the extra Glacial Tomb Crash, which basically just you couldn't go there. Like you couldn't do that part of the game. So first thing, wanted to get that out of the way. It's some good news if you've been waiting to play that, like to get back into Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for the extra content. Tomorrow might finally be your time to do so. Okay? So, that is story numero uno. Numero dos. Let's get right into some awesome news. Some awesome news because I will probably finally play this game on stream. When the game came out, I watched a ton of gameplay on it. I wanted to play it, but I did not want to buy it digitally at full price because there's too much Switch stuff coming out. And I just don't want to, like, I really wanted a physical. And with how well the game was selling, I was really sure that they were going to release a physical edition of the game. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't, because they're going to be able to double dip on some people that bought the digital. So, like they'd be dumb not to. The only thing, it's all on the disc, but they have already 2 to 3 DLCs planned for the game, champ. That's the one part that is sort of annoying me a bit. It's they've already said that they have like 2 or 3 DLCs planned for the game, and the DLC obviously won't be on the disc. That's the one thing I just want to throw out there really quick. But yes, and this is funny because this I knew about last night at midnight, because I'm on the mailing list for the PR company that handles this, and they sent me an email at midnight last night to let me know that Black Myth Wukong was going to come out officially today. It's just really weird how they did this, because it's officially already out, but no one has it yet. So theoretically, you can pre-order it right away on Amazon, Best Buy, and other ones. By the way, I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video, all the links to the stories that are here are in the description of the video down below. So if you want to read any of the stories for yourself in like complete format, or if you just want, especially if we watch videos of other people, we're not going to do so in today's video, but if you want to go drop them a like and a subscribe if you do enjoy a video that we watch in one of these episodes, definitely do so. I recommend it as well, because if we're watching someone else's content, I think we deserve to give them a little like on their stuff. So very appreciated. But getting back to the story here, so this is from GameSpot, but honestly it was covered everywhere. I just found it really fun because this site on top, you have direct links to be able to pre-order them on Amazon, Best Buy, and of course, they're probably going to get a kickback because these are affiliate links, but they're not my affiliate links, so just, you know, whatever. Why not give someone some a thumbs up? But this is like a 3D action game. I wouldn't call it a Souls-like because it has Souls-like elements, but it almost feels more like a boss rush style of gameplay where there's very few enemies other than bosses. And I guess it's still a Souls-like. It's just not an extremely difficult Souls-like from what I could tell. Like, I haven't played the game, so obviously I don't want to assume that the game is easy, but I do want to play it on stream now that we're going to get a physical. But like there seem to be like some key bosses that are really more difficult, while other bosses are really more there to like showcase awesome mechanics. That's what I would say. So some of them are more about showcasing awesome mechanics and great gameplay than making it super hard like a true Souls-like. A Souls-like doesn't need to be extra difficult. It's just that I think it's in the spirit of that. And this game tends to be more on the action-focused side than having you redo the same boss like 25 million times. Like, I know there's like the first boss to really get you into the game, to get you used to the mechanics that people have trouble with. But once you get sort of into a flow, a lot of them seem to have some pretty decent... not easy, but you sort of get into a flow, and it only takes you a few tries from there on out. Yeah, honestly, that would be something would be really interesting. Where Elden Ring, I do agree with that. I would love FromSoft to do an update to Elden Ring for people that have beat the bosses, where you can refight the bosses in like a boss rush style, rather than having to like start a new playthrough of the game every time. I do agree there, because that is one of the like sad parts of the game, is that some bosses are just so fun to fight that you would love to be able to do so over and over again without having to replay the whole game itself. But that I do agree. If FromSoft would add a boss rush mode in Elden Ring, I'm not sure they would have to do that much work. I am sure that, like, let's say they release it for like $5 or $10, I'm sure they would sell a ton of it as well. And with the work they would have to put in and the number of copies that are out in the wild of that game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, it would be like a winner proposition for them. I do agree with your idea there, Andrew. That's an amazing idea, actually. But ultimately, if you've been waiting on Black Myth Wukong, your patience is going to be strongly rewarded, because yes, physical edition, $65 on PS5. Can't wait for this one. And honestly, I really, really want to play this game. It looks freaking amazing. So, second story down. We're not going to spend a million hours on this. Just if you haven't seen the game yet, I seriously think you should look into it. Okay. Next, now we get into some of the funner stuff. We got an awesome announcement for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Now, we already covered the F-Zero games. That was already extremely exciting. Now, yes, we are getting an expansion to the Nintendo 64 part of the expansion pack. And I think most of you already know what the game is, but let's watch the trailer and let's all just be happy together for a moment. So let me make sure that the desktop audio is on, and you guys we should be able to all enjoy this trailer together now. If it would load. What the heck is this? Like, I all loaded the trailers ahead of time. The worst is you can see that it's like, it doesn't make sense. There we go. I know it was stuck. Let's just say it was stuck. Exactly. Nintendo Ninjas. Maybe I have too many YouTube windows open. I have like 25 windows open. The music is classic. Like, it's not the best, but it's just classic. So, yes, guys, we are getting a Banjo Tooie. Come on. Well, I think everyone knew this was gonna happen eventually. Let's be honest. We got Banjo Kazooie. But, oh my god, we are finally getting as well Banjo Tooie. And, I mean, just like with F-Zero, wouldn't it be amazing if this would be like, if we would get finally like a follow-up to Banjo Kazooie? Now, the biggest problem, I think, is that Microsoft owns the property and they don't really have very many studios that does this style of game. And I'm not sure what Toys for Bob is doing right now. Like, I honestly haven't heard about them in a while. I know weren't they disbanding or trying to go private? But I think they're allowed to. Yeah, that's it. I think they did a buyout, didn't they, of Toys for Bob, and now they're doing their own stuff. But well, like, why wouldn't they outsource a game like this to them? That would be amazing. No controller issues tonight, Andrew. Obviously, tonight is the one night we don't have to worry about my controllers messing with me. Okay, because tonight we're watching trailers, we're watching news. But who was excited as I was when we saw this? Like I said, when this was announced, yeah, they have a deal with Microsoft. Like, this would be amazing for Toys for Bob. Like, who wouldn't be amazed to see Toys for Bob working on a Banjo 3E, whatever. Like Banjo Kazooie 3. You know what I mean? We'd have to find a weird twist on the title, because after Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie, you can't just go with Banjo Kazooie 3. It just doesn't work. We'd have to think of like some funny way to make the title, but definitely I would love to see a return of the franchise. I think it would be an awesome title as well. I've said it a lot for a lot of games, but I think in the early lifespan of the Nintendo Switch 2, it would be a great revival of a dead franchise on Nintendo Switch 2 that would definitely get people to jump right away onto the new system, especially the diehard Nintendo fans. I think it would be another amazing one. Just like F-Zero would be like making Banjo trash grass. But Banjo 3 like the worst is I'm not thinking about it, but I'm sure 3 fits in well, because if Banjo Tooie, Banjo there has to be a play on words there that would work perfectly for a third game. But honestly, we're getting spoiled with the expansion pack. I've got to say, I wasn't expecting them to put this much effort into it, and this it really is doubling down on the fact that I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a one-for-one transition to the Nintendo Switch 2, where the online service for both Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, 64, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a one-for-one continuation on the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't think they're going to start over. There's no reason for them to do that with as much effort as they're putting into this at the end of the Switch's life cycle. Because let's be honest, no one's going to buy a Switch because Banjo Tooie's out. However, people that have a Switch are going to keep their online service going because the game is there. Once again, I don't think it would be enough for someone to buy the expansion pack, but I think it will make sure that people will renew their expansion pack with the continuous add-on of quality software that we're getting there. So that was a big announcement for Nintendo Switch Online for the month of October. Nintendo 64, we're getting Banjo Tooie, which, if you don't know, 3D collectathon platformer, follow-up to Banjo Kazooie. Haven't played it? Definitely play it. It's worth it. Trust me. Even a remake of Banjo, like, well, no, we got Banjo Kazooie. No, there wasn't a remake of Banjo Tooie, was there? I have a blank, because if there's a remake of Banjo Tooie, it's not on the Switch. But did Xbox get a remake of Banjo Tooie? If someone knows in the chat, let me know. I have a blank. I know they remade Banjo Kazooie because we have access to it, but I'm not sure if they remade Banjo Tooie. Okay. Now, our last bit of news for tonight is going to be a little bit weird. Weird in the... I can't actually show any images because it is almost sure I'm going to be copyright struck by Nintendo if I do. Okay? Because they've been copyright striking content that has been showing it all night. Like on Twitter and other stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the next story. I'm just going to put like in the background the image of the Nintendo Switch Online playtest. And I know visually this is not going to be like the most awesome presentation of anything because what you want. I can't show the images and have the stream shut down completely. It would just not make sense. But basically, if you guys remember last week, we covered that this week we were going to have the Nintendo Switch Online playtest program starting theoretically officially tomorrow or in about an hour. Well, what I explained last week, and I said it, and honestly at this point I should start honestly like betting on stuff because I'm starting to get pretty good at the prediction stuff, like the guessing and prediction stuff. But I pretty much said that check the internet on the 22nd. We're going to know exactly what the playtest program is going to be. And guess what? We didn't even have to wait till the 22nd because today the whole playtest program leaked. Now, honestly, I can't even put a link to this in the video because there is a chance that it's going to get struck if that happens. But all you have to do is type Nintendo Switch Online playtest program leak, and you will see all the images that I'm going to be talking about in the next few minutes. Okay, they're shutting down websites, but it's everywhere now. So there's like it's easy to find on Reddit. It's easy to find on a bunch of different sites. But I'm going to explain what it is. So I'm going to explain in words what the playtest program is. I just can't show you the images that leaked. Okay? And it's funny because one of my guesses last week, it's actually what the playtest program is. Like if you guys watched the show last week, remember what I said? I said, like, everyone was thinking that it's the GameCube. I said, I don't think it's that. I think it's some kind of online. Um, I didn't get it exactly right, but I got very close. Like, I thought it was gonna be a new online like me meetup, like, you know, the Mii's that were on the Nintendo Wii and the Wii U, like when you create a Mii. So I thought that basically they were going to make an online like hub where people are going to be able to meet up and play mini games and stuff like that. Well, I wasn't very far because it is actually a Nintendo MMO that they're releasing, a sort of MMO style game. Now, there's one thing. It is very possible that this is not the actual game that the people are playing. It is possible that this is like a server load test and that they're giving you like a baseline cookie cutter version of the game, but the actual finalized game are not going to look like the images. Okay? And I'm pretty sure that's what's happening because when I looked at the images, I'm like, no way this is what they actually want to sell. Like, so I'm thinking that they had a very sneaking suspicion that the game was going to leak. So what they did is they sort of made like a cookie cutter version of it to test the server load. But that's most likely has very comparable mechanics to what they're aiming at. But basically, it's an MMO type game where everyone is going to build a planet together. And the way it works is that when you sort of drop into this planet, you're given a I can't remember the word they used for it, but you're given an item that creates like a dome where this is like your territory. And within that dome, you can build it up to your liking. Like you can build things there and you can shape it to your liking. And basically anyone can come in your bubble to see what you built, but they can't modify a beacon. Thank you. That's what I was looking the word, a beacon. So you get a beacon, and so basically everything within your beacon is yours, and you can build how you like it. But anyone from the outside can come in your beacon, but they can't change anything in your beacon. However, and everyone's going to have a separate beacon, and together it's going to create like a planet. And the space in between where no one has a beacon, well, everyone can develop those together and modify them as a community. Yes, it's like Minecraft in space, which is exactly what I was saying. It's sort of like a Minecraft idea-based game. But personally, visually, the images I saw look worse than Minecraft, which is why I'm like, I can't believe this is what Nintendo's releasing. I think this is just a server load issue test. But it's pretty funny that Nintendo wasn't, like, I think they live in this imaginary world where they were expecting people to actually not talk about this. Like, I know that apparently you have to sign like an NDA and stuff to get it. But the thing is that if you're not a content creator, like, and there's no way of Nintendo knowing exactly who shared the images and stuff, how were they expecting this not to get out? They let 10, like, honestly, they should have just, like, I understand that they didn't want 50 million people getting in there, so it was okay to choose 10,000, but they should have just made an announcement and say, look, this is what the test is going to be. But and the lucky first 10,000 are going to get to try it in person. No, if I would have got in, I wouldn't be talking about it. Well, okay. Number one, I didn't get in. Number two, I wouldn't have leaked the information myself because I'm a content creator and it wouldn't have been worth having my channel shut down to leak information. Or I wouldn't say they would shut down my channel, but like it wouldn't be worth the legal possibility of problems if I would have leaked it myself. However, I would have reported on the fact that other people leaked it without confirming whether or not I played what they're saying they played. Does that make sense? Because as long as I'm reporting what other people are leaking and that is public information that I myself are not divulging, it's sort of like it breaks the NDA. Like it's hard to. I'm not a lawyer, but I do know the basics of the way an NDA works because I've signed them at work, and NDAs only function till information becomes public knowledge. Once information is released to public knowledge, you can't add information that hasn't been divulged under the NDA, but you're no longer in trouble if you confirm the information that's been divulged in the NDA. You're like, if you say, yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you can't really add extra information. That's where you would get into trouble. Rick would manage to be the first person to die in the game. Man, F you guys. I never die in games. Never die in games. I don't know where this, like, weird, like, how can I say, like, I don't know where this weird, like, scenario came from where I actually die in games, because it's never happened. I never die. Like, the only thing that happens sometimes is my controller goes berserk, and, you know, it looks like I'm dying on screen, but I'm not actually dying because that's my controller's fault. If I'm dying, that's because I make a mistake, and I just don't make mistakes. That's just the way it is. It's the Rick lore, embrace it. Exactly. But basically, that is the online playtest program. So we are most likely going to see a Nintendo-based MMO. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think, like I said, I don't think the images you see are going to be the finalized game. But it is, once again, not what we thought. You know, most people were banking on the GameCube, but I knew, like, I had this, I would have been so surprised that this is how they would have tested out GameCube. To me, it would have made, like, absolutely no sense that this is how they would have tested out GameCube. So basically, that is the online playtest program. And I'm sorry I can't give visual aids for this, but I do recommend just type it. It's not a huge leak. Like, you're not ruining anything for yourself, but just type it, Nintendo Online Playtest Program, leaks, and you will see all the images. And then you'll understand what I'm talking about here. And apparently also during the game, there's a way to upgrade your characters, unlock other objects. So there is like a sort of circular pattern where the more you build and the more stuff you do, lets you unlock more items to basically build higher and upgrade your player level. And apparently they're very big on the respecting other people in the community stuff, because you have to actually do a certain thing at the beginning of the game to prove that you understand what is acceptable to respect others and not acceptable. So obviously they're going very Nintendo with this MMO, where they want to make sure that you understand that everyone has to be like, love each other and give each other hugs and not annoy each other. But obviously it's an MMO, it's the internet. We know that the first thing people are going to try to do is find ways to annoy each other on it. Respect my authority. I can't say respect my authority. I say, you know, to me, it's always authority. Because if you're a South Park fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. That is that. So we have one last little bit of information, and it's another quick announcement, but one that I found really, really cool. It's a return on a game from last week, which is Neva. Now, I said it that Neva looked amazing. I'm honestly a little sad that I haven't had time to play it yet, but I definitely will. But Neva has been hitting amazing, amazing review scores. Like, for an indie game and a follow-up to Gris, this is going to be, like, they knocked it out of the park with this one, with a very similar art style, but this time the the gameplay has come together to the level of the art style, and now it is like the great, like a really, really, really great release. I haven't played it myself, but the game doesn't get this many good reviews if it isn't really solid. But there's also another little bit of good news. So I just want to watch the accolades trailers where you guys can see that they released. And we are going to finish up with even some other good news about this game. Although it's a little bit far out, but let's take a look. Like, honestly, it's like getting mostly 8s and above pretty much everywhere. And I would say even a lot of them are in the 9s. Nintendo Life, I respect a ton. Yeah, I think Alex did a review as well. 88 Metacritic, man. That's amazing. Honestly, the game looks absolutely, absolutely beautiful. A contender for Game of the Year on Xbox. Honestly, Devolver is like seriously becoming one of the craziest indie publishers in a while. And the little bit of extra news I want to add to this is a very, very fun little announcement here. And honestly, I think I'm going to invest in the collector's edition. Yes, Neva will be getting a physical. However, it's releasing in March 14th of 2025. And we're going to have you're basically going to have a standard and collector's box for Nintendo Switch. You're going to have a awesome art book in the collector's edition, original CD soundtrack. Like chef's kiss here, man. This is like going to... Yeah, I'm going to double dip. Yeah, no, I'll pick this one. I'm not going to wait till March to play this one. Unless I really never find a hole to play it. You know what I mean? Like, I need, like, a little bit of time to play it. And I think at this point it's a little bit too late. Or it's not too late, because like I said, I don't want to talk about being late on reviews anymore. But the review's just not going to be worth it at this point. Everyone agrees that it's a freaking amazing game. So... even though I know a lot of people would like to see another review of mine, I'd rather focus on games that maybe have been less reviewed. You know what I mean? But don't worry, like, Zelda's still coming. I still have like 3 reviews in the holster when I can finally get them out. But as you saw yesterday, I did a mega deals video that took me like a good 4 or 5 hour chunk of my time. And I was working on Saturday, so like there was no way for me to do any other content but that. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to put out the new release video on top of maybe another video at the same time. But super excited for this one. I do think it's going to be definitely worth it. If you have a backlog and you haven't bought Neva yet, consider waiting for the physical if you're a physical collector. You could double dip, but you know, I do think there are so many games right now. For someone who says I can wait till March, it's not an awful idea either. So, but yeah, no, I understand what you mean, Nikolai. And you're right. It does happen that you watch a review from years ago. But the problem is, I'll explain to you what happens, is that right now, and this is the way YouTube is, let's say I put out my review now. Because my review is starting at 0 views, and there are reviews out there that have thousands of views, if you type never review, okay, my video is going to be like the 50th on the list. And the chance that someone scrolls down all the way to the 50th video on the list is very, very rare. Okay, the meaning that the chance that I'll be able to catch up and get a decent amount of views on a video with that many reviews out is very low. However, if I review a game that there's only like 5 to 10 reviews out, I most likely, even though I'm the maybe 7th or 8th on the list, I'll have a chance to get up there. You understand? And that's why, like, when you target a game that more than 20 major channels have reviewed on YouTube, and you're not there day one to directly challenge them, it's like a dead thing. Like, I'm going to put out my Zelda Echoes of Wisdom review, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be dead in the water. I hope all of you watch it and like it, but if it's dead in the water, it just is. But it could happen. And that's just like a YouTube thing. Like, I'm not saying this because I'm complaining. That's the way it is. If you aren't in the first people to release a video on a topic, your chances of having a successful video lower immensely, which is why people who do this full-time have such an advantage over someone like me who does this part-time. Because if I'm working and a review and a news drops, well, RGT can have his video out, and like RGT already has a lot of followers, but on top of it, RGT can have his video out within 30 to 45 minutes, while my video is going to come out at the end of the day when I'm finished work, once I've made supper, put the kids to bed at like 11 o'clock. So it is what it is. You understand? That's about it. Okay. So that was it for our news stories for this week. Like I said, I voluntarily kept it light, but at the same time, there wasn't that much craziness that happened last week. And right now is not the time to get into drama stuff, because there were some drama stuff that I would have liked to maybe cover if we didn't have as many games to cover. Because I do think that I don't want drama to take the place of gaming content. But during the quiet months like January, February, we'll have some fun times to look at some like occasional drama content. I think it is fun from time to time to like just talk about stupid stuff. And internet drama is always stupid stuff. Let's get this out of the way. And yes, guys, it is time for this week's new Nintendo Switch games. So these are not a comprehensive list, as I say every week. These are the games that to me have stood out from the pack. But this week, a ton of games have stood out from the pack. So we are going to be looking at a lot of games. Okay? But you'll see, very few of these games am I going to say, I don't know, it seems sort of good. There's maybe one or two of those, but most of these games, to me, are almost surefire hits if you're into the gaming genre that they're in. The problem is there's so many of them at the same time. But nonetheless, also a last quick reminder, if you're watching this after the stream goes live, like on a replay of the stream, and a trailer gets muted, that is not because I'm voluntarily muting the trailer. It is because the music in the trailer got copyrighted. So it could happen. If it does, I'm very sorry. If you absolutely want to hear the music for the trailer, after the video, you can always check out the link in the description down below, which will always be there for all the trailers that are in the video today. So, without further ado, let's get started. And we have actually more than one game that has released today on the eShop. So we have 3 games that released today, October 21st. And our first game that we're going to take a look at is Speedollama. Frenchie Mom has renewed. Your reviews are better than RGT. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed them better. Trying to make them as good as I can. Speedollama. Now this game, it looks like some retro crazy funness. And let's be honest, what's better than a screaming llama? Not much in this world. So let's take a look at Speedollama, and then I'll give my quick thoughts about this game. Oh wait, I forgot to read the blurb. A wise old llama has enlisted a group of elite mercenaries for an almost impossible mission: to destroy the alpaca army that has waged a brutal war to exterminate the llamas and seize world domination. Thank you so much, champ. Rip my wallet, this week is crazy. You are right. Equipped with a powerful tunneling machine, the llamas embark on a bizarre journey, boring through the earth. Nexus Creed, welcome channel supporters. Welcome, Nexus Creed. Thank you so much. Collecting funky substances and battling the relentless alpaca forces along with their beastly allies. Check out this action-packed Speedollama trailer for the upcoming shoot-'em-up game. Now, I'm not going to read. It's available on a bunch of different consoles. Let's get started with the trailer.
Run fast and shoot faster. Destroy the alpaca army. Infinite random levels. Many weapons and upgrades.
I love the 80s, 90s vibe to the trailer.
Pixelated furry ultra violence. Speedollama.
Well, that was something. So obviously, I'm getting a ton of Metal Slug vibes from the trailer. And if we're talking about more recently, Mighty Goose. If you played Mighty Goose, which is a game I absolutely loved on the Nintendo Switch, I'm getting like very much the same vibes from this game. Even like a lot of the mechanics, like you can see, really, really remind me of the mechanics in that game. Like just the fact that you can see them sort of hovering by shooting towards the ground to keep yourself like elevated in the air. And honestly, at an $8.99 release price, this could be some serious fun. Now, the one thing that is making me a little bit worried about this one is the randomly generated levels. Because I do feel what that means is that some levels are going to feel great, some levels are going to feel less great. And the whole infinite level thing, I really hope, however, that the game does have some kind of end to it, some kind of like storyline tying all this craziness together. Because the whole setting of the llamas fighting against the alpacas is such an over-the-top, crazy and fun idea that I hope they actually, though, try to make some kind of storyline ending to it, and it's not just like an endless game, like a mobile endless game sort of type thing. But definitely a game to check out if you want a budget pickup for this week that just looks like it could be crazy over the top fun. Now, I can't promise it's going to be great because I haven't played it yet, but it looks like it has a lot of potential. So that is our first game for today. Next, we have another little indie surprise that I think could have a ton of potential as well. Also launched today, October 21st, and it is currently selling for $9.99. And I mean, its release price is $9.99. I'm saying currently selling, but it's not on sale or anything. It released for $9.99, and that is Kingsgrave. Now, I do want to read through this. Welcome to a gloomy Metroidvania adventure inspired by classic Zelda games. Gain more power and obtain new combat skills as you explore the fractured land, slay foes, created by plague, solve puzzles, and rebuild villages. Reclaim your realm. Now, I was getting Zelda-ish vibes from the trailer for this one, and let's take a quick look together at what we're happening. Guanaco is better than alpaca, and alpaca is better than llama. Okay, you can argue with the developers of the game, Rodrigo, because they seem to prefer the llama. Now, this one, I love the vibe from it. I am worried that this music is going to be copyrighted, though. I am a bit worried that the music's going to be copyrighted. I love the fact that they seem to be integrating crafting too into the game. It does look very interesting to integrate crafting into a Zelda-like game, or like rebuilding your town. Now, so Kingsgrave released today, and look, here's what I think really seems promising about the game. Visual art style looks good. The vibe the game is going for looks good. It also seems like I said, they're just making enough original twists to the Zelda-like formula to make it their own thing and not just feel like a Zelda clone. And therefore, although they're comparing it to Zelda, obviously because it's the most recognized property in these sort of top-down Metroidvania style of gameplay stuff, it doesn't just feel like, oh, okay, it's a copy of Zelda, which isn't always a bad thing, but it's also good sometimes to do your own thing about these games. Where I am a little worried is the movement of the character seems very floaty. And that doesn't mean it's going to end up being bad, but personally, I like when there's a little bit more weight to the movement. So I like when you move a character and there's like weight to their movement, than when they feel like they're moving very floaty, like a sort of Flash game. You know what I mean? Like Flash games, the characters seem like they have no weight to them. That's the one thing that in some of the action sequences, like the character looks like he's moving very floatily. See, like, and obviously I can't assume that's it, but when I look at the movement, like I've played so many games now that I get a feeling what the movement's going to feel like. And that's the one thing that maybe is worrying me a little bit about this. Probably make fun of Rick as usual. Yeah, you guys all love making fun of me. You know what? But one day I'm going to get sick and tired of it. I'm just not going to show up. Joking. Okay, let's... So Kingsgrave releasing today. I think it could have a ton of potential. Might want to wait for a couple of reviews before jumping in, seeing if someone's played it and what they thought. But I do still think it has a very high possibility of being a good game. And now, obviously, I forgot the price on the next game, which always annoys me. Give me a sec, guys, because I like presenting them with prices. There we go. Okay, and October 21st. And this is our last game releasing for today on October 21st. And honestly, I'm not sure. This is one of the ones I'm sort of iffy about. It looks like it has good elements. It looks like it has bad elements. But this being Halloween season, I sort of felt like I had to talk about this one, especially with the fact that we just got the Halloween / Ash vs. Evil Dead. And this did feel sort of in the same vein of game. But we are getting the Rocky Horror Show video game releasing today on Nintendo Switch. And once again, it is only $9.99. So not a big investment. It does seem like it has potential. It is based on 8-bit, like an 8-bit gameplay style. But let's take a look at the trailer. Was there a blurb to this one? I can't remember. Experience the strange journey of Brad and Janet like never before in this wild and wacky retro platform game adaptation of Richard O'Brien's legendary rock and roll musical. Jump to the left and dodge to the right in classic platforming action, along to 8-bit chiptune renditions of the Rocker Horror's legendary songs. So let's take a look at this and see what it looks like. Honestly, for like 8-bit renditions, it's pretty decent. That chiptune music's going hard, man. So that is already out. Just want to say, I felt like I had to talk about this one, but this is probably one of the games on this week's list that I'm the most iffy about. Because some of the gameplay looks like it could have a ton of potential, but it could easily go wrong as well. This is obviously a take also on the classic Castlevania scene, like entry scene. So there seems to be like throwbacks to classic gaming as well in here. But look, this could actually be freaking interesting. And part of me wants to play it. But part of me also says I don't have time on planet Earth to play this week. It is $9.99, Rodrigo. So it's actually not very expensive, which is also why I'm like, you know what? If it turns out to be a really decent game, it could actually be a surprise hit for this week. So, the Rocky Horror Show video game, super interesting. This is the 21st, and this wraps up the 21st of October. So next game, we are moving on to the 22nd. Like I said, I'm going to speed track a little bit tonight because I would like to not have another, last week was already an hour and a half. Let's try not to go up to 2 hours this week. Now, this is a game I can already tell you is excellent. As long as it plays well on the Switch, it is excellent because it's come out on PC already. And this is like a game that gets like 9 out of 10s once again. It is a strategy RPG. It is called Wildermyth, sorry. And this is the console edition. The blurb says nothing really about the game. Wildermyth follows heroes over their whole careers, from their pitchfork days to their powerful primes, and into old age and memory. It's a party-based procedural storytelling RPG where tactical combat and story decisions will alter your world and reshape your cast of characters. But it has an absolutely beautiful art style. The gameplay is very fun and addictive. One thing I'm worried here is, will it run properly on the Switch? I do think it will because it has an art style that lends itself to the Switch, but there are still tiny doubts. If it runs well, though, we are going to have one heck of a major game. By the way, it is selling for $24.99, so it is a little bit up there on the indie scale.
Journal, my drawings.
These pages are old, Mom.
Well, careful.
This is all from your hero days?
And before. I was just a strong-shouldered farm girl once. I had long black hair.
Sure, Mom, but what about when...
When the Gorgons came?
Yeah, and you saved the town.
Well, we fought the Gorgons together. Your
The
father was
visuals are
there.
very, like, cartoony
We were kids. He was
storybook.
shy, bookish, cute, of course. But that day, he did magic. So I was a warrior. Folks called him a mystic. We chased those stone-eyed Gorgons past the hills to places where trees walk, where the ruins of other yonderings lie like buried bones, and met a moth-winged man who kept moonlight under his hat.
And you met Holden?
Oh yeah, some hunter's kid. Your father liked him, and that made 3 of us.
Then you were called heroes.
Maybe. But it's strange. The world changes. There's always some new threat. And heroes can't stay the same either. You make choices. You bargain with wild spirits. Fall for one of your friends, then find reasons to argue with the other. Well, it all works out somehow. Except, no, not everyone makes it.
Dad said I wouldn't be here without that man's
Personally,
sacrifice.
I love the art style here.
You'll be safe out there, won't
And
you?
it's a nice
You
change
could always
from
come
just
with me,
pixel
show me how
art.
things are done.
I know you say that, but... Well,
Like almost
where'd
Paper
my
Mario
old sword
feeling.
get to?
Yeah, I read your message. Hello, Hertha. I am live right now, so if you had any doubts, I am definitely live right now. So Rodrigo asked me to say hello to you. Hello, Hertha, and welcome to the channel. Glad you're here tonight. Getting back really quickly, however, Wildermyth, coming October 22nd. I can promise you guys, if you like strategy RPGs, this is an excellent game. Okay, as long as it runs well on the Switch, you do not have to doubt this is going to be an absolutely amazing game. And I would say it is maybe worth picking up over some of the AAA games coming out this week. It is worth possibly picking up over some of those AAA games this week because it is really a very good game. You have to be a fan, though, of turn-based strategy RPGs. If you're not a fan of the genre, I would say hold off on it, but it is definitely a great one. So that is October 22nd. That kicks off October 22nd for tonight in the video games, starting off very strong. Next, we have another game that I didn't really know much about. This one, I'm more worried about it running on the Switch once again. Okay, it is Potionomics, the Masterwork edition. This is coming from us from Xseed, which generally makes pretty decent games. A lot of them come to Switch, and it is the mix of like a potion crafting, business, deck building, even relationship simulator. Now, I'm not normally the kind of relationship simulator guy. Like, I don't feel like I need to fall in love in my games, like my characters to fall in love and get married and stuff. But this game has enough working for it that I don't mind that part of it, and I'm actually interested in this one. Now, there is a physical for this one that came out with a collector's edition this week as well, because I saw them at GameStop, even though they weren't officially out. I saw them going into the pre-order cabinet behind the thing because they weren't out yet, but let's take a look at the trailer and we'll talk more about this one.
Shop that is hopefully with any luck even.
Sorry, I forgot. This one is going to be $29.99. So once again, pretty high up there on the indie scale.
Been a little bit successful. This is what I get for looking for answers at the bottom of the bargain bin.
You've got to start somewhere. Let's just try following the steps.
I'll come up with my own. Step 1. Keep the cauldron running and shelves stocked with all sorts of potions. Customizing your storefront can help make your brews irresistible. Step 2. Invest in new exotic ingredients and equipment to make even better potions. Pro tip, strong networking can help you out. Step 3.
See, that's the
Grow
part
your
that I'm
customer
like
base
less
and
into
sell,
the whole relationship
sell,
thing, but
sell.
I know a lot of people
Step
are
4.
going to love it.
Profit. And now I can pay the scary soul-binding witch lawyer so I won't lose the shop and be totally crushed by the large debt left behind by my unscrupulous uncle.
Seems like a recipe for success.
All in a day's work in Potionomics. Potionomics Masterwork Edition, coming soon to consoles.
Now that's worth a pretty penny.
So this game actually, like I said, looks interesting. I do like business sims. I really like business sims, and this one has a really interesting presentation to it. I do find that $29.99 is pushing it, but at the same time, Sega does it for like their 2 Point Hospital and stuff, and releases them at full price, and those are great games. So as long as the game has a decent amount of replayability to it, and you can put a lot of hours into it, I think it has something going for it. And like I said, the whole relationship thing seems like a nice add-on that is really going to attract a lot of people from that crowd. To me, it's one of those things that I didn't need to have in the game, but I can see how this maybe it fits in with the cutesy art style. And the good news is that the chibi-esque art style that they're using for in-game is most likely why this will run well on the Switch. Like when I saw the animated sequences at first, I was like, holy crap, this is most likely not going to run well on the Switch. But then when I saw the chibi-esque in-game designs and how the actual like space is pretty small, I'm like, oh no, it's probably going to work pretty well on the Switch. So I do think it's going to run pretty well on the Switch. And if you're into business sims, I think this one's going to have some really fun gameplay to it. So I do think you should check this one out for this week. High potential for this one for anyone into like life/business sims. And honestly, I'm almost glad we haven't had a lot of those lately on the Switch. And it's a good thing because we were overloaded with them for a while. So now having a really good one come out after a few quieter months on that front feels good, because it actually feels like, okay, this is something fresh, something new, and something good. So this one coming out $29.99, October 22nd. So in 14 minutes, it could become available. Next, we have a quick little indie game I wanted to look at. Now, this is one of the lesser known properties. It is Hatch Tales, a heroic hookshot adventure that is coming out on October 22nd. Now, this one is $19.99. We're going to look at the trailer. That is my one problem with this game, like off the top, is that for the style of gameplay it's going for, I do find $19.99 is a lot, because we have a lot of games that resemble this and that are selling for less. So I do find asking $19.99 for this is a lot, but it does have I would say a high quality art style to it. So I can maybe see why they're going for that. But let's read the little intro. Embark on an action-packed platforming quest across the mystical lands of Talonreach. Join Hatch, a flightless hawk mountaineer equipped with a powerful hookshot, on a perilous journey to confront the evil Nazar and save the kingdom from his icy grip. So let's take a quick look at the trailer, and then I'll give my thoughts on this one. So that was Hatch Tales, a heroic hookshot adventure. Now, here's my thing. Here's why I'm a little worried about the sales price. The gameplay looks solid. The art style looks cute and interesting, and it's a nice change from just standard pixel art. Like it's more like, once again, a cartoony look to it. Okay. It's just from this trailer, I don't really see anything I haven't seen before multiple other times in precision platformers. And at this stage of the Switch's life, to just have a good, solid precision platformer and trying to sell it for $20 does feel a little like a tough sell. Okay? Just because you've got a ton of really good ones around the $10 to $15 mark. So to sell one for $20, like I need to feel that your game is giving me something that I have never seen anywhere before. And although this one seems well put together, it doesn't seem like it doesn't hit that for me. But I still think it's going to be a solid game. So maybe this one is one that is fun for this week, but I would maybe say wait for a sale. Wait till you can pick it up around $10, and then it's most likely going to be a really fun game. Unless nothing else tickles your fancy for this week, and you're like, this game, I want a precision platformer, then why not? You know, why not? It can be it looks like it's going to be a good one. Honestly, I have no idea why they haven't followed up on Golden Sun. Like, to me, that would be a slam dunk for Nintendo, a good turn-based RPG. No idea why they haven't followed up on that series. Golden Sun, I'm glad that we can at least now play them on the Nintendo Switch Online platform, but that is like, that's almost criminal that Golden Sun hasn't really gotten a modern-day follow-up. To me, that would be like a slam dunk game. Slam dunk game. Like you and like I said, if you don't know what to do with it, Nintendo, just have a really good indie studio do the follow-up, and it'll print money for you, in my opinion. Okay, but let's continue on, because we've got a crap ton of games left. Next, we have a nice horror game for the Halloween season. We have Fear the Spotlight, that is releasing on October 22nd and will be selling for $19.99. Now, I've got to say, I've seen a couple of reviews. It's supposed to be one heck of a game. So let's take a look at the trailer. Well, wait, let's see the little blurb. Fear the Spotlight is a third-person survival horror adventure with a PS1-inspired visual style. Now, it's pretty funny because just last week we saw a PS1 horror survival game as well that was very, very good. Well, this week we're getting another one. So I don't know if, like... And honestly, it'd be a nice switch up from going from, like, everything has pixel art to being a new trend, reproducing the polygon visuals of the PS1 era would be another fun, like, little throwback thing. Although I think it's not going to have the same nostalgia factor as the pixel art. I do still think it's an interesting thing that we're getting multiple games in that sort of, like, weird polygon PS1 type scenario where they couldn't smooth out the polygons yet on the PS1. But let's take a look at this and take a look. I wouldn't want them to do a Golden Sun remake a la Final Fantasy VII, because it's too big budget for that series, in my opinion. But if they just brought it up to like Monster Hunter Stories type, I think it could work. Like, you know what I mean, with like or ease type visuals, which we're gonna look at a little bit later. I think that Golden Sun could do really well with a modern entry. Honestly, I don't even think they should do a remake. They just should make a follow-up. They don't need to remake the first two. They work perfectly on Game Boy Advance.
Are you okay?
The volume's been low.
Do you see
this
anyone?
Nah. This is Blumhouse. You know, they announced that Blumhouse is going to be a publishing studio now for really original games. This is a Blumhouse game. That is also why it caught my eye. Sorry, just wanted to throw that in there because I just saw the Blumhouse symbol and I'm like, oh yeah, it's true. That's why I really, really was interested about this game, and I even checked out if there were reviews out.
It's totally empty. I hope the board looks as creepy as I imagine. Let's go. With hands entwined and hearts aligned, we seek the realm of the undefined.
What was that?
Don't worry, Viv. If any ghosts actually show up, I'll protect you.
Amy! Oh, I've got to get out of here. Where did you go?
Hello? Amy! Just go home, Viv.
Like, honestly, it manages
matter
to be
what.
creepy, even with the low poly visuals.
Don't worry, Viv. Everything is going to be spectacular. I'm happy here. So happy.
So that is going to be Fear the Spotlight. And I think if you're looking for a Halloween horror game for this year, I would maybe go with this one. Like, out of all the Halloween horror games, because like I said, Ash versus the Evil Dead and Halloween, I won't consider them horror games. They're Halloween games, but they aren't horror games because they're 2D pixel art action games. But this really, really sells the creepiness for me. There's a lot, like, honestly, the scene with the little guy, this man, this shit, I can see this shit being scary in the dark. Like, I can see this, like, putting you on ease, you know what I mean, in the dark. It's going to be, in my opinion, this is going to be a really, really solid release. Plus, it's Bloomhouse, which I was super excited to see what they were actually going to put out. And I think this one, they're starting strong. I maybe forgot the price for this one. This one is $19.99. Sorry about that if I forgot the price earlier. $19.99, releasing October 22nd. If you want a scary ass game for Halloween, I would put my money here. And you know what? $20 is not that bad. A community night, yeah. I've been thinking about doing that for a while. I'm just like, I'm not sure how I'd organize it. Like, it'd take a lot of organization and stuff to get it going. But you're right that we should have a community night eventually, and I'm gonna try to get that going. It's always the time factor, you know. It's always a time factor, and the fact that often I don't know till the last second that I have some extra time, but. Yes, I would like that. And like for this week, for example, I really would like to find time to play Sonic X Shadow Generations on top of Ash. Because Friday, like I said, I'm decided I want to play Ash versus Evil Dead and Halloween. But I really would like time to play Sonic X Shadow. Just because I think on the channel we've played like every Sonic game so far that's come out, and I don't want to ruin that. So I do think I'm going to try and find some extra time this weekend. Yes, we do have a Discord channel that we could get it organized on. But the thing is, like, I'm not, like, it's hard for me to get things organized on that end, in the sense that making sure ahead of time which night we could do it. But let's get back to the games. Great idea. We'll talk about it again, maybe towards the end. So if you want to bring it up again, Nix's Creed, if you're still here at the end of the stream, we will bring it up. Now next, we're jumping to October 24th. But October 24th wants to kill me. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't have like $500 for October 24th, you're not getting all the Switch games coming out. Because there is a crap ton of games on October 24th. Like, if you think we've seen a lot of games so far, there are more games on October 24th that look good than all the games we've seen up to this point in today's video. Okay? And, like, you'll see as the games come, it's very hard for me to cut any of these out to like, focus, because all of these look amazing. There's maybe one or two that I could have cut out, but they still are indie games that look so interesting that I felt like I had to look at them. So October 24th, we have Yakuza Kiwami. Yes, the Yakuza series is finally hitting the Switch, and I really, really want to play this game. And why is it coming out the same week as like so many other games? I don't know. But hopefully I will find some way to be able to play this eventually. But Yakuza Kiwami is coming out this week, and it's only going to be $19.99. I find it's a really okay price for October for a what was once a AAA series coming to the Nintendo Switch. I find that $19.99 launches it well and will maybe be a good price point so that a lot of people gives it a try that haven't before. And maybe they're going to make a ton of Yakuza fans with this. So let's take a look at Yakuza Kiwami. We saw this trailer just a little while ago in the Nintendo Partner Direct at the end of August, I feel like saying, or beginning September. I forget exactly when it played, but it's the last Partner Direct that this played in.
Immerse yourself in the story that started the epic saga in Yakuza Kiwami. Meet Kazuma Kiryu, a Yakuza accused of murdering his clan's patriarch, and Haruka, a young girl on the run, two individuals whose fates intertwine. Set in Kamurocho, Japan's largest entertainment district, Kiryu must navigate the twists and turns of Tokyo's underworld while confronting rival gangs. Swap between 4 fighting styles in real-time combat. Fight bare knuckle, or arm yourself with makeshift weapons and go up against anything in your way. There are also plenty of distractions to be found in Kamurocho. So take a break from brawling every once in a while. Discover how the epic series began when Yakuza Kiwami launches on Nintendo Switch October 24th.
So that is Yakuza Kiwami. Shenmue Dead Rising sort of are games that came out, I would say, from the same general era. Look, I could be wrong from a few years, but I do think they are series that influenced each other a lot, because you do see a lot of the same themes. But I'm pretty sure this is still going to stand up today as a really fun game. And I, for one, cannot wait for the Yakuza series to hit the Nintendo Switch. And I hope this is only the beginning with, on the Nintendo Switch 2, it continuing with even more of the later entries in the series that go even deeper into the storyline and stuff. But if you've never played a Yakuza game, I think that for $20, you're going to get more than your money's worth here. So if you are not sure what to pick up for this week and you want sort of a no-fail fun game, in my opinion, as long as this runs well on the Switch, and personally I don't think they'd be releasing if it didn't run well, Yakuza Kiwami to me is going to be one of those like safe purchases for this week, because as long as you like the sort of semi-open world brawler style, you're going to love this game. Oh, you bought it before and you didn't click with it, Rodrigo? That could be. Like, if... Look, I'm going to admit something that a lot of people are going to probably be like, what the F? I never clicked with the later GTA games. I personally never clicked. After Vice City, I've never clicked with a GTA game. And it's some of the most played games in the world that people love. And I've played them. I've just never finished them because I've never clicked with them. So it happens that you don't click with a series that everyone loves. And look, I can't tell you why. I just haven't clicked with it. Come here, Topaz. Topaz is downstairs and she wants to come. Yeah, come. Sorry, Topaz is my cat for anyone who's new here. And she wants to come see her daddy. So we're going to let her up. Okay. I can definitely relate. I still think it's going to be a safe purchase for someone who saw the style and says like, oh, that's my jam. But it's never a guarantee. Because like I said, GTA for me, I thought that like San Andreas and stuff was going to be like slam dunk, and meh. It didn't hit me. It didn't get me into it. But it is what it is. So Yakuza, October 24th. Now, we are definitely still only scratching the surface of October 24th, because here we have one of my... Now, I had to put this one here because I was like so weirded out by this game that I'm like, I need you guys to be weirded out with me, okay? And I don't know what to think about this game, but I have this weird feeling it's going to be something crazy. Like crazy as in so weird that it actually turns out to be good. So this next one is going to be Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut. Also coming out on October 24th, which I'm going to be repeating a lot. This one sells for $17.99. However, currently it's on sale for $16.19. So let's take a look at Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut. Is there a little blurb? Yes. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of the path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Slay the Princess. The Pristine Cut is coming to Nintendo Switch on October 24th. So the setup is uber weird. And you're going to see that the trailer is even weirder. But it's weird in a good way.
You already know why you're here. You already know what you need to do. Yeah, if we don't slay the princess, the world ends. All of it. We know. Then why are you hesitating? What are you doing?
You don't have to be afraid. We can both get out of here. Together.
No, you can't do this. You're going to damn everyone if you set her free. I refuse to let her get the last word in.
And that is it. Were you guys as weirded out by that trailer as I was? Like, the one thing that I would have really liked to sort of figure out is I have no idea what the gameplay is. And I promised myself that I would not look at what the gameplay is like before tonight, just because I wanted, yeah, but like, is it just going to be decisions? I get it's a obviously I think it's a visual novel, but it's one of those visual novels, like, still, you know, like, visual novels do have some gameplay elements to it, but how will it be? Is it only going to be like choices? But either way, this one looks freaking freaky. Like, it takes a lot for a visual novel to strike me, and this one did it. So I do think that this one is one I feel like I want to see the story. Like, I need to know what the story is. I need to know, if you save the princess, are you really effing the world? Or is it like one of those like bizarre things where that's what they're telling you, but if you actually save her in the... Nah, she dies in an instant. Who knows? Maybe they're sending you on a mission, and by killing her, you're dooming the world, and they're making you think that you're not dooming the world. Yeah, I saw that Steam reviews were like super high. They were like 10 out of 10. I know, that's what I saw. Multiple endings. But I really, 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 really find this one freaky. And if you're looking for another freaky game to play on Halloween, I think that this visual novel could definitely fit the bill. I wanted to include a couple of those, you know what I mean, in today's video, since we're getting into spooky season and everything. Now, we do have one more, like, we do have one more podcast before Halloween actually hits, but I do still think that we need to up the spookiness here. So, the Slay the Princess coming out on the 24th. This one's selling for $17.99, currently on sale for $16.19. If you're looking for an awesome visual novel style game, I do think that one's going to be something good. Next, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, which is basically a ground-up remake of Romancing Saga 2. It is an epic RPG. It is a classic RPG. It is a great RPG. However, I do want to warn, it is a very Eastern-based storyline RPG. I always warn this about the Romancing Saga, and we're going to also see later Romance of the Three Kingdoms. They are great games, but the storyline can sometimes be a little hard to grip for Eastern audiences, just because there's a very heavy Western influence to like the interaction between the characters and the way plot lines are set out and whatnot. And I know you're like, well, nowadays, well, what does it change? Yes, but this is like, there are some serious differences. So not every Western person that has played Romancing Saga has gotten into the game, because some people had a trouble. Like I've suggested this to the past to people, and people just haven't been able to connect with the storyline because it's very Eastern influenced. But let's watch the trailer for Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, and you'll see this is a ground-up remake.
The tale of the Beren Empire and the generations of emperors that led it into prosperity. Discover the story of Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. The seven heroes were once hailed as saviors.
This is okay. It's a 5-minute trailer. Okay, I'm not sure we're gonna watch the whole thing. Let's just we'll go with it. But if it gets really too long, I might cut part of this trailer out.
But the ancients feared their power and banished them to another dimension. They have now returned as villains bent on revenge. As legions of fiends swarm the world, you take
now,
on
visually,
the role
this
of
game
ruler
looks
of the
amazing.
Beren Empire.
Praise be to the Empire.
As the story progresses, if you abdicate, or if your emperor is defeated in battle, you'll select the new emperor from a variety of potential heirs. Thanks to the inheritance magic that passes the abilities from one emperor to another, you will grow stronger across successive generations to defend your legacy and defeat the seven heroes.
We will have our vengeance.
The Emperor cannot save the world on their own. To build your team is as simple as going into a tavern. While you're at it, don't forget to help yourself to a tasty beverage on the house. Recruit powerful allies from existing Imperial forces, freelance specialists, or alliances you've made. Select from over 30 different classes featuring a wide variety of professions and races, each with their own favorite weapon, unique abilities, and effective tactics. Before throwing yourselves into the next battle, prepare your retinue's weapon techs and spells.
Like, this is one of those extremely
Finally,
detailed,
choose from a wide
like,
range
trailers.
of formations which provide unique benefits to your team.
You almost like get
More
the tutorial
formations will
in
become
trailer
available
form.
as the story progresses.
And this is a huge game, by the way, as well. Like we're talking about like owls here, serious
Don't
owls.
be shy and speak with the inhabitants to unlock new locations along your journey. You'll meet dangerous foes, but also potential allies. Different outcomes
Oh my
will
God!
rise
Thank
depending on your
you, Frenchy
approaches
Mom, with the
and choices.
$5 super chat. Thanks for the never-ending backlog.
What is your
Keeping you guys busy,
particular quarrel
man.
with the
Keeping you
heroes?
guys busy.
That they threaten the peace or the size of your empire? Your honesty is refreshing. I shall ensure that my people will assist you.
I'm massaging Topaz.
Developing
like
the
going
Empire in
insane.
its capital Avalon over the successive generations is
see her
essential to
tail,
create the
like,
most powerful battle
wagging.
retinue as possible. After finishing a key quest line, a new
Oh my God,
region
she's
will
losing
join
so
your
much hair.
empire and contribute to its economy, which means more income to develop Avalon. Build key facilities such as the smithy.
Okay, I think you guys got the gist of it. Okay, like we don't need to finish this one. I don't know if you guys are okay with me, but we've got the gist of this one. If you guys want to watch the full thing, you can always do so. But they're going to go really into the details of all the different mechanics. Basically, extremely complex RPG, extremely deep RPG. Obviously, if you're not already an RPG fan, I would maybe not recommend starting with the Romancing Saga. Not that they're not great. It's just that it's a heavy RPG format for someone who's not already at least have a grasp on the basic functionings of an RPG. But if you are, and what you see here looks interesting, trust me, The base game was amazing. I haven't played the remake, but unless they really effed it up, like they had a great game to build on. So I'm assuming they pretty much did a good job here. The one thing is this one is going to be $49.99. Sorry, not $24.99. $49.99. So it is getting pretty close to a full price game, but there is a demo on the eShop. So if you are not sure about this one, you can actually play the demo first. And yes, it is a 100+ hour RPG easily, especially if you get into the side questing. Okay, so this one has a free demo. You can try it out on the eShop first, and then it is $49.99, releasing on October 24th. Next, we're going to jump straight into Card en Ciel. Now, Card en Ciel is a play on words of the French word for rainbow, which is arc-en-ciel. Okay, so basically it is a very colorful card-based game. Do we get a little blurb? Yes. Card en Ciel stars Neon, a gaming detective, as he collects and battles over 300 cards on a deck-building RPG adventure. Players will adventure through 10 different dungeons, earning character cards to strengthen their decks and unlock new techniques to use in ever-expanding roguelite card battles. Special muse cards add another layer to the card battles, activating powerful abilities with their songs during battle, with 50 vocal tracks included in-game. Together with the muse's songs abilities, players will use hidden card glitches and even enemy attacks against them to perform satisfying full power combos with their unique decks. Whew, that was a mouthful. But we're going to take a look at the trailer. It looks like an extremely colorful card-based roguelike battler. It actually, however, looks like it has high potential. By the way, it's brought to us by Inti Creates, which is the basically they make like the oh my god, too many games. They make the oh my god, the Mega Man like series, which I have a blank now on the name because I'm trying to say it. Mother blah 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 blah. They did the wow, all blanks on the words. Give me any one of the games that the Inti Create makes. Someone in the chat, do it now. Do it right now. Whatchamacallit? Number 9, Azure Gunvolt. Thank you. Whew. My God, you know, sometimes when you have that crazy memory blank. So basically, this is the company that gave us Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 1 and 2. Well, they published Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. They gave us Blaster Master, Azure Striker. Basically, they generally know what they do. However, they also gave us stuff like Galgun and Umbra Claw, which are like less top notch. But still, this one looks like it has a lot of potential here. So let's take a look really quickly at the trailer. And sorry, I have a terrible memory for the title of games sometimes.
I'll crush you!
Be gone! A roguelite card battling RPG with over 300 cards and 50 songs. Card en Ciel releases October 24th.
A dead end? No way!
A new VR game is being invaded by characters from
If you
other
guys
games.
ever played Mega Man Battle Network,
The gaming chair detective.
this is their take on
That's
it.
how the people refer to me.
The virtual detective Neon dives in when a dev, Ansi, asks for help.
Hey, they
Walk
copied
around
Mega Man,
dungeons
now they've
freely
got to
and
copy
challenge
Mega Man
foes to
Battle
add
Network.
countless cards to your deck. Then, walk straight to the boss when you're ready.
But to be honest, they developed Mega Man Zero for Capcom, so it's not really copying when they actually developed the original idea for one of the Mega Man
Ciel's
games.
over 300 cards, each feature a character from an in-universe game. The fully voiced cards come alive in
Holy
your
crap,
hand,
nothing interested you
even
so
talking
first
to each
while.
other.
Wow.
It's not just the fictional games. Inti creates characters.
I'm working hard
appear
here,
as well,
Squirrel. I'm gonna try and
blurring
find
the
something.
bounds of reality.
We've still got some left.
Clean it up. Pale mist refined.
Muses begin singing when you meet their conditions, adding powerful support effects.
Listen to my song. Hang in there.
And that's a character straight from
Show
Gunvolt.
you what I've got. I do feel a bit
That's one of the muses.
Over 10 different dungeons feature stories, characters, and boss battles from in-universe games. After clearing a dungeon, you'll unlock 10 more difficulties with challenging enemies and new rules. Special Grand Battle dungeons let you bring any card you've found. Use multiple powerful Muse abilities together.
We're getting there. I was wondering, I hope it's not another 5-minute trailer.
Any combo you wish. Glitch your way to victory. A card battling adventure through the eras of gaming. Card NCL.
Perfect. So if you like card-based RPG games, I do think this one's going to be pretty amazing. Its release price is $24.99. However, currently it's on sale for $22.49. And once again, we have another game with a free demo. So there is a free demo for this one as well. So definitely check it out if you want a card battling RPG. Honestly, I just think if you're a fan of Mega Man Battle Network, you're going to like this. If you just like card-based RPGs, you're going to like this. If none of this seems interesting to you, don't pick this up because it is a very niche genre. And if you've liked Mega Man Battle Network in the past, like you could maybe try those out first. And then basically this is going to most likely be an extension and a take on the series. I'm wondering if they worked on Battle Network for Capcom. I'm not sure. I know they worked on Mega Man Zero. I know they were the team developing behind Mega Man Zero, but yeah. Okay, a Capcom should sue though. I don't think they can sue because, like I said, gaming mechanics should not be copied, and none of the characters actually come from Mega Man. Give me a sec here, guys. Sorry. Rodrigo gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. Very, very appreciated. So now let's get to our next game because we have to find something for Squirrel to play. But the thing is, I don't think I have anything under $5 for this week because there's really nothing under $5. I think the closest we'll get is $7.49. So I've got something coming up at $7.49, Squirrel. Thank you so much. Very appreciated. So Sotos Matthew, welcome to the supporters. Jeffrey K. There's No Hope for You. Stella Rhyme and for Retrosake Gaming. Welcome to the supporters, guys. Now, those are going to pop up for a little while, but we are going to get started with our next game. Next, we have Shin Chan, Shiro, and the Coal Town. Now, this has an extremely interesting visual style. I think we saw it during the indie showcase as well. I know I saw it somewhere before. I think it was the indie showcase, but wait, was there a little blurb here? Sorry, I forgot. This game is going to be selling for $39.99. However, once again, releasing on October 24th. My God, October 24th, but releasing for $39.99. So it is one of the more expensive games for this week. However, let's take a look at the trailer. It could have a ton of potential. The visual style is very original here. I know I saw this somewhere before. And I'm almost wondering if it's an anime that I've seen somewhere. Is it Ghibli? I don't think it's Ghibli does this one. No, it's not Ghibli doing this one. Okay, that's it. I think that's why I've seen it before. Shin-chan is big in Japan. Okay. Yeah, I've most likely seen it on Crunchyroll or something like that before. That explains the price, however, because if it's a big IP behind this one, it does explain it. Did it work? Are you talking about the gifted subs? Yes, it did, Rodrigo. So yes, on October 24th, we're getting this. Honestly, I had to show this one because I knew the character from somewhere, and I knew you guys were going to help me figure it out. Because honestly, I just didn't have Digimon Adventures. What the heck? I just didn't have time to research exactly where I knew him from, but it looks super interesting. I love the art style, so even if I wouldn't have recognized the character, I love the art style for this one. It is a little bit expensive, however, for this week, which is why I said earlier, like, if you don't have $500, you're not getting all of this week's games. But if you're a fan of the Shiro-chan, I guess you're going to be really into this one. You're going to want to play it. Personally, I've seen the anime then on Crunchyroll. Like, I've seen the thumbnails for it, but I haven't actually watched it. So it's hard for me to talk about this one, but I definitely think it's one that I needed to at least mention for this week, put on the radar. I'm not going to say much more about it because I really don't know enough about the base series to give any more thoughts about it. However, for anyone watching this one wants to make sure the node was coming out this week, it is coming out on the 24th, and it's going to be selling for $39.99. It's rare that I don't like to give my thoughts on a game, but especially when I don't know a series behind it, I really prefer to like just let people who know about the series give me their take on what the whole game is. Like if it looks like it's trustworthy to the series and whatnot. Okay. Next, we are still on October 24th, and we are still going to be on October 24th for a few games. We have Bot World Odyssey that is coming out on October 21st, and this one is going to be selling for $25. However, currently it is $22.50, and once again, a free demo. I'm telling you guys, we have like 5 games or 6 games with demos this week. So you can actually try them out and see if they're your cup of tea before jumping into them. And it is super important because the next game after this one, I actually tried the demo to see if it was good or not. And I was immensely surprised. But I'm going to keep that surprise till we're actually talking about that game. Let's take a look at Bot World Odyssey. Oh, wait, I forgot about the blurb, didn't I? Give me a sec here. What is the blurb here? Do we have one? Oh, it's a lot. Okay, we're not going to read all of this, but venture out into a huge and diverse world to discover new bots, collect rare scraps to build them, and deploy them in tactical real-time battles on your quest to become the world's greatest bot master. So basically, it's a Pokemon robot game. Or I would say almost like Metabots game, where basically it plays out sort of like Pokemon, but in real-time combat. No, I think it's turn-based. We'll see in the trailer. I can't remember if this one was turn-based or real-time, but basically it reminded me of a Pokemon game using robots. Let's take a look at Bot World Odyssey. Art style is awesome too for the cutscenes, but the in-game is a totally different affair. It's not like this. There we go. So top-down, we have that like chibi-esque little style to it. Ah, it's real-time battles. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's like little arenas. Now I remember. So it's like a real-time combat Pokemon game, but you're controlling robots. Instead of becoming the world's greatest Pokemon trainer, we're working on becoming the world's greatest boss master. So this one, super interested in this one as well. Now, I know I've said it a lot today, which is, like I said, why I think that developers are trying to actually kill me this week. But god dang it, how am I going to find time to play this one too? Because this one has me super interested. Look, I'm already a fan of Pokemon-style games, although I do agree that Pokemon is becoming a little bit tame. Like, they need to do something to refresh it in the next one and get me, like, really back and excited for actual Pokemon. But this one looks really fun. I like the sort of real-time battle type. The one thing I'm wondering is, are you controlling the robot or are they automated? That's what I'm not getting from the gameplay trailer itself. Is like, are you setting out the robots and then they control each other and you don't have, or like, are you screaming out directions, or can you give certain directions, or do you have direct control over the robots? These are all questions going through my mind that I would like to be able to answer, but I can't. But it definitely looks like an awesome game for this week. And you know what I think is really cool so far for this week? There's a little bit of something for every style of gameplay. Think of how many different styles of gameplay we've seen. We've seen visual novels, we've seen RPGs, we've seen action games, we've seen 2D platformers. Like, it's insane. We've seen the horror survival. Like, it's insane this week how well diverse the gameplay styles are. And I'm loving it. That's one thing I'm loving about this week, although there's too many games at once. But yeah, so Bot World Odyssey, ton of potential yet again. I mean, what can I say more? It looks great. I just hope it plays great on the Switch once again. And I do think it's going to have a really good public if the game is diverse enough and really has a lot to play out. Okay, next one. And this is the game that I played the demo for. This is the game I played the demo for because I wanted to know if I was making an avoid list for this week. Why? Because we have another Microids game. And Microids, I don't like shitting on companies undeservingly, but they are really hit or miss with their performance on the Switch. So I'm always worried because some of their games are really great, but run crappy on the Switch. Other games are really great and runs okay on the Switch. And this is one of the games that looks great and actually, if the demo is representative of the majority of the gameplay, runs pretty freaking good on the Switch. It is basically a Smurfs game that is, it's Mario Odyssey meets the Smurfs. Now, is it going to be as diverse as Mario Odyssey? Most likely not. But I've got to say, in the demo, with the few levels you play through, I was amazed by the variety of gameplay. And they actually did something that I don't really remember seeing anywhere else, like in original gameplay mechanics, already starting in World 2 of the demo. So I am very amazed with this game so far. Now, I do not want to promise that the whole package is going to end the same, but if they can keep up the originality that I get from level 2 and beyond, guys, it's not going to be a Mario Odyssey, but it's up there. Like, it's going to be up there in 3D platformers. Now, let's take a look. And I couldn't believe it. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't believe that this kind of game was coming from Microids. Not that they don't make some good games. I can't remember them making a game that looked this good. Like, Marsupilami was extremely good, yet a little bit too short and was performance issues on the Switch. But this one seems to be delivering good performance. And on top of it, extreme original mechanics.
Hey! Choo choo!
Oh, and you can play in co-op. So when I saw this trailer, I was like, holy crap, this looks freaking good. And I wasn't expecting the gameplay to match up with it. Yes, Mario 3D World vibes, but it has like almost a Mario Odyssey vibe to it when you play it too, because it plays out more as a collectathon on different, like, you go to different worlds and you have to collect items that unlock other worlds. Like, it feels a little bit more like collecting the moons in Mario Odyssey than Mario 3D World. But you're right, the gameplay isometric viewpoint does play out more like 3D Mario, like a Mario 3D World. So it feels like a mix between the good too. And look, honestly, I grew up loving the Smurfs, so I'm glad that the Smurfs are finally seeming to get a really good game. Free demo available on the eShop. Definitely try out the demo, guys. No joke, no reason not to. And the demo is actually a ton of fun. Like, just the demo itself is a ton of fun. Now, the one thing, the game is releasing for $39.99 on October 24th, once again. So it is a little bit up there in price at $39.99, but it all depends on how long the game is. It could actually really, really be worth it. Like, no joke, if the game has enough worlds and it keeps up the quality that you get from the demo. Now, don't be fooled by the first world, because the first world is like a tutorial world. It is very simple and very, very straightforward. But when you get into the second world, you'll see some really out of the box mechanics start popping up, and it's really, really worth it. Just to answer your question, Chap Dancer, theoretically, I was checking, Cat Quest Trilogy came out in August, because I was pretty sure the digital version was already out for a while. So yeah, the trilogy came out in August. It is the physical that's releasing on the 24th. But yes, you're right, Cat Quest Trilogy is getting a physical release on the 24th. I knew it was this week because I have it pre-ordered, but it is only the physical. The digital's already out since August 8th, which is why it's not on today's list, because I'm really looking at games that are first-time releases on the eShop, or physical and eShop, basically, releases. But they have to be new to the eShop to be on today's list officially. So, yeah, honestly, this is my surprise of the week, where, like, I'm actually thinking of picking this up this week and playing through it because I had so much fun with the demo. So if you want a 3D platformer, try the demo because it's free. But if you like the demo, this one could be good. The only thing I can't promise is the game going to deliver in totality what you get from the demo? Or did they like cherry pick a couple of levels that they worked on hard and they didn't... like, you know what I mean? The rest of the game maybe has problems later on. That could happen, but I'd be really disappointed if that happened. Okay. We're actually getting there, guys. We're getting there. We have 6 games left. 6 games left. Whew. I'm trying to rock and roll this, guys, because if not, we're never going to see the end of this. Like, I love Switch games. I love talking about Switch games, but oh my God, are they testing me? Gargamel. Oh, the bad guy. You wanted the name of... Yeah, Gargamel is the wizard. Is the mean wizard in the Smurfs. Gargamel, and his cat is... What's the cat's name? Because he has a cat that catches the Smurfs too. Gargamel and Azrael. I'm pretty sure the cat's name is Azrael. Yeah, like, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the cat's name is Azrael. Okay, Next, we get something I mentioned a little earlier, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 Remake, coming out on October 24th. Now, this has a regular edition for $59.99, and it has a deluxe edition for $89.99. Now, this is an even deeper strategy game than Romancing Saga. It is a great gaming series, but this is much more strategy. Not like it's some people call it an RPG, but to me it's much more a strategy game than it is an RPG. And it is extremely deep. So although it is a very, very good game, you have to be a deep strategy fan to enjoy this game. Let's take a look at the trailer. It is a 3-minute trailer, but Three Kingdoms, amazing. And the remake looks great visually. But I do want to give the warning, make sure you're a huge strategy fan before picking this one up. And it's the same thing. The storyline can be a little hard to connect to for Western audiences.
天下に道を示せ。
三国志8リメイク。在野の将から君主まで身分の違いによる多彩な生き様を体験。
天下が我に背くを許さず。我が心の炎を天下に示す。
法数今より乱世飛翔戦。
登場武将1000人。収録シナリオ55本以上。どの武将でどの時代を生きるのか。武将たちを結ぶ宿命が圧巻の人間ドラマを描き出す。
生まれた日は違えども同年同月同日に死なん我らが神明いかようにも捧げようぞ。
プレイヤーの行動が呼び起こす宿命。巡り合うあまたの武将たち。そこから生まれる人の絆。
Sorry about that, guys.
その関係が深まるほどに戦闘や任務でプラス効果が発生。人と人とのつながりが生み出す新たなドラマ。
Like it is deep, deep strategy. さらに
Okay? 歴史イベントを左右する演技伝がドラマを彩る。
Yeah, but I would say this is way different than Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay. Just to be clear, this is way different than Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem, because this is like macro strategy. You know what I mean? It's like Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem is like turn-based strategy RPG. This is like macro strategy. Yeah, it's Civilization, exactly. It's more like a Civilization game than it is an RPG game. The only thing is Civilization doesn't have as many characters generally. This is very character-based, however, around the character you choose. And you can replay the game multiple times from different character perspectives that changes the whole scenarios. But once again, it's like the problem sometimes is Western audiences will have trouble connecting with motivations in the storyline, and we're talking about ancient Eastern like political scenarios, which sometimes won't match up with, let's say, the way like the motivations of the characters and the strategy won't match up necessarily with what you're expecting. There are battles and stuff, but it's like you'll see.
戦場に渦巻く剣謀術数。それぞれの武将たちの思惑が戦場を駆け巡る。
Like what is the game?
恩じさせていただく。面白い。
what is the other series that sort of has combat a little bit? I feel like this. It's It's like a good but bad comparison, but sometimes the battles almost feel like Total War. Like if you've ever played Total War, like, but they're generally turn-based rather than like sort of real-time like Total War. But Total War is maybe sort of a reference for the battle styles where you're not talking about individual units, but you're talking about like you're controlling generally like formations and stuff. It's Total War could be sort of a reference, but not really. But yeah, just like a very macro comparison. Anyway, it doesn't remove anything that the game is excellent. It's just like, it's one of those games that I always give a huge warning. If you jump in, expect at first to be totally lost in the gameplay. And it's only through playing and sticking with it that you'll get into it. And like I said, Rodrigo, man, don't start the drama tonight. I don't have time for it. If you want to learn accurate Japanese history, you should play Assassin's Creed Shadows. Dude, man, I'm not getting into the Black Samurai stuff again. Just joking around. Like, I have no problem with it, but yeah, they got so shit on for like bad representation of Japanese history. But either way, getting back to Romance of the Three Kingdoms 8 remake, that's it. It's just like great game. Just make sure you know what you're getting into, because it's an expensive game at $60, $90 for the deluxe edition. Just to let you know, fanatics of the series will spend that $90 on the deluxe edition for like all the like outfit packs, and I think it's like outfit packs and stuff like that. Or is this the one with it's just like a soundtrack? No, I think it's the outfit packs. But and enjoy it, but it's a lot of money to put into if you're not sure you're gonna like it. So I do just want to warn this one, make sure you know what you're getting into. Okay, that is nonetheless, it's a game I had to mention this week because for the right audience, it is going to be a major release for this week. Now we have this week's cheapest game coming up, which is Soul Stalker. And this is, honestly, I'm excited for this one. I want to play it too. I want to find time to play this one. It is the take on Vampire Survivors meets Slay the Spire, done with the art style of the guy who did, oh my god, what's that other game he did? Ghostbound, something bound. Hold on, give me a second if I can pop it up really fast. It's something bound. But either way, it doesn't matter. It's a super cutesy art style, but it's like a Vampire Survivor type of gameplay, which is a super fun pick up and play style of gameplay. So honestly, if you're looking for a cheaper game for this week, I think this one is worth taking a risk on. It is Soul Stalker, coming out on October 24th, and it is $7.49. So let's take a quick look at the trailer. It's only 50 seconds, but you get a really good idea of the gameplay. So yeah, there we have it. And like I said, I think it's a fun concept. It's like Vampire Survivors meets Slay the Spire, so there seems to be like some progression overall with an overall map. It just looks like good, clean fun. You know what I mean? Like good, just simple fun. Pick up and play game. You drop like 45 minutes into it every couple of, like once or twice a week. and you get some nice progression out of it. And it's sort of that game that's always going to be there in your recently played log where you drop a little bit of time into. And $7.49, to me, it's worth a risk. Obviously, you could wait for a review. I don't know when I'll have one out, or I might just try it and then put in eShop deals. This feels like the kind of game I might just put out into eShop deals eventually because I get a chance to try it and I know if it's worth it, and then it gets on sale a bit and boom, it hits eShop deals. But that is very, very interesting for this week. Okay, let's move on. So I think this one, it's like straightforward. Either you liked what you saw or you didn't. Another little indie game that I have a lot of interest in. The World of Kung Fu, Dragon and Eagle. Also releasing on October 24th. However, this one for $17.99. It's an RPG style of gameplay. I am very interested in this one. An adventure strategy RPG developed by Chili Room. Players will explore the chaotic lands of ancient China and engage in challenging turn-based battles to change the world of Kung Fu forever. The World of Kung Fu, Dragon and Eagle is launching October 24th. So let's take a look at the trailer because I think this one is going to be interesting. I think I said the price, it is $17.99, releasing on October 24th. I love the pixel art in this one. Like, I know some people say pixel art is overdone, but this one, I like the way they're using it. So we don't get a lot out of the trailer, and I hate that they put like that commercial for their next video like halfway through the trailer. I know it's 20 seconds before the end, and since it's 40 seconds long, it was there for like half the trailer. But I really like the look of this game, and from what I can tell is that basically there's going to be like multiple storylines to play through, and I believe like there's not only one ending to this one. I vote that Rick has to drink at least a beer during community night so that us humans have a chance. Honestly, the one game you're probably going to easily beat me at is Mario Kart. Because I know I'm good at Mario Kart, but I'm not amazing. I'm not amazing. Like, I don't know all the shortcuts and crap. So if you guys know the shortcuts and stuff during the tracks, you're going to beat my ass down. I'm like really good at the courses if we run them standard. But if you guys start using shortcuts, you're going to beat my ass down. Easy. But yeah, so the World of Kung Fu, Dragon and Eagle, honestly, it's one of those games that could easily get lost for this week, but has a very decent potential. And I'm hoping that I or someone will have time to try it out to check if the game is good, because there is a lot of promising parts to this trailer. Like, I love the strategy RPG mechanics. It gives me an almost Disgaea feeling. I know the visuals are not at all the same, but I'm getting a Disgaea feeling from how over the top some of the abilities looked like. Like, a lot of the abilities, like this one, like started hitting like everywhere. I'm getting like a Disgaea feeling from the abilities, which honestly is good. And yeah, and I love the Kung Fu setting. Kung Fu is I've done Kung Fu for like in my life for real. Like I did Shaolin White Crane and loved it. I wish I could still do it if my school was not like a 1 hour drive from where I live now. But it pretty great premise. Love it. Okay. Next, we have Void Rot, which is an 2D action game coming out on October 24th, selling for $19.99. This one also has a free demo. So once again, another game with a demo. No reason not to try it before possibly picking it up. Haven't had time to try it yet, but I do remember seeing this somewhere. So explore the thawing remains of the Grey City and vanquish the false gods you find there. Void Rock is a cosmic horror Metroidvania with epic boss battles, coming to Nintendo Switch on October 24th. Play the demo now. And definitely, I do recommend trying it out. The demo I'll probably play this week because I have time. I sometimes knock out like 2-3 demos in like at once. And if you're not getting Hollow Knight vibes from this, once again, I don't know, tonight it's getting late, my brain isn't working. You're not getting Hollow Knight vibes from the art style here. I don't know what game could give it more than this. Like, it's Hollow Knight vibes, but it's still very much its own thing. Okay, you can't tell me that didn't look amazing. There's no way someone can tell me that did not look freaking amazing. Yeah, that's a Rick game right there. That's a controller. That's a controller breaking game right there. It looks polished and tight. I hope it runs well on the Switch. I think it's going to, because this art style, like I said, lends itself often well to the Switch performance-wise. But yeah, Void Rot coming on October 24th. If you're a fan of action gameplay, I do think it's going to be a tough game, though. Like, if I'm just looking at the art style and everything, and the fact that they seem to be inspired by Hollow Knight, I would not surprise that it doesn't turn out to be a pretty difficult game. But once again, free demo, guys. Free demo. One of my favorite 2 words in the eShop language is free demo. Not this week, Frenchy Mom, because like I said, Ash versus Evil Dead and Halloween, Sonic X Shadows does take precedence for me nonetheless, but I'll see what I can do. And the problem is none of the weeks coming up are quiet. You know, sometimes I can say like, oh, next week doesn't look like there's much coming. Maybe we'll have time. But look, I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes either. Yeah, but it's still a free demo. There are paid demos. Yes, they're called early access. Those are paid demos. If you want to get technical about it, early access. That's called that's what you call paid demos. Okay, let's move on. One of the biggest releases of the week is coming next, releasing on October 25th. Guys, we're done the 24th. The 24th is over. I made it. We're still alive. We are on the 25th now. Sonic X Shadow Generations coming out October 25th. Look, I've never been a huge fan of 3D Sonic. I've always been more of a fan of 2D Sonic. You guys all know that. But I've got to say, this one looks good. I'm hoping they can finally deliver a really quality 3D Sonic game. Sonic Frontiers came very close. Of course, performance on the Switch was a little bit of a letdown, but the game still was really worth playing. It was a ton of fun. They're getting there. And I hope that as a more standard 3D platformer, this is going to deliver. I'm really hoping this is going to deliver. So let's take a look at the trailer. It's looking good. And I know, by the way, be careful if you guys don't want spoilers. The game has been leaked. People are emulating it online currently. Be careful. If you don't want spoilers till Friday, if you don't want to see the game ahead of time, watch out for online, because there's a lot of gameplay posted. Just a FYI.
It is time to awaken the ultimate life. Welcome to the world, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Third movie's coming up too soon. I'm gonna go day one with my daughter. She loves Sonic.
Black Doom. I destroyed you once. I will do it again.
Don't worry, there is gameplay in the trailer, even though this is a story trailer. We get gameplay towards the end of it.
Mistakes.
There we go.
We'll finish this here and now.
The promised time will arrive once more.
I'll take this power and use it as my own.
I shall put your power to the test.
This time, I will crush every last one of them.
He is a warrior, a destroyer.
Yes, the warrior that will destroy you. Maria?
And there we go. Sonic X Shadow. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go see day one, the third Sonic movie. Can't wait for it. I really like the first two. Like, are they my favorite video game movies? No, but they're definitely up there. And my daughter's really into it. She watches them constantly, so I can't wait to see the third one with her. But yeah, Sonic X Shadows, there seems to be a lot of potential. I hope the game comes in through. I'm really rooting for Sega, especially with their relaunch of the classic franchises. I'm really rooting for them. I always said it, in the 90s, I was more of a Sega kid than a Super Nintendo kid. Like, I loved my Genesis. I really was disappointed that Sega fell from grace and like lost their consoles and everything. Like, partially, I think we would be better off in the gaming landscape if Sega was still around in some form as a console manufacturer. But look, it is what it is. We're where we are. I just think they've never respected their franchises as much as Nintendo, and that's where their downfall happened. But either way, we're not going to get into that tonight. My thoughts for a 3D Sonic, I really hope that this is a 3D Sonic that sells it for me like 100%. My biggest problem with 3D Sonics have always been the same thing, is that some of the coolest sections of the gameplay, you're not actually controlling the character. Like, you know, often when you get on those rails and you start doing twists and it sends you flying through the air, they're almost always like automated sections, and that's something that's very different in 2D Sonic, where even when you're going fast through the stages, you still always have control over the character. While I always felt in 3D Sonic, like half the gameplay, you're like not directly controlling the character. And for me, that was always a side of it that sort of took me out of the gameplay, where I'm just watching the game happen in front of me. For me, some people get immerse themselves in it. For me, it takes me out of the gameplay. It's like when games have too much FMV. For me, it takes me out of the gameplay rather than getting back into it. Because I'm like, oh, am I playing now? Okay, cool. Now I'm playing. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, I had to do something there because it wasn't an automated section. And that's always been, I find, the 3D Sonic's problem, is finding that nice middle ground where you have the automated sections to make that 3D fun happen, but at the same time, making the player feel like they're actually constantly playing the game and they're not watching the game, if that makes any sense. That's always been, I find, the downfall of a lot of Sonic games. And I'll give you an example. One game that was terrible at that was a Sonic, the one that everyone hates, which honestly, I still played through the whole thing and I still had fun, but I can definitely say Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces was very much like that. Like the coolest parts of the gameplay, you just felt like you weren't doing much. Even Sonic Colors Ultimate had a lot of sections like that where you weren't too sure what you were doing. But yeah, that's my thoughts on 3D Sonic. But I'm still super excited for this game, which is why I want to play it this week. Like, I want to find a way to play it this week. Honestly, it's too bad if it was coming out on Thursday, or if Ash and Halloween, the physical edition, was out on Thursday. I would have done one game Thursday night, one game Friday night. But both of them are out on freaking Friday. That's what's effing me up this week. If one of them was coming out on Thursday, I'd actually be fine. I would have found a way to stream Friday night. So we have one last game, guys, for tonight. It's another big one. It's Ys 10 Nordics. Once again, free demo available on the eShop. So you can play it. You can try it out once again. I haven't tried it, and I'm really wondering what the performance is like on the Switch. Because I do want to give the warning, Ys 9, the biggest problem is it took some patches for the Switch version to be okay. Okay? Long stream Friday, it would be very rough. I'll do a longer stream on Friday, family-wise, like for my wife and everything. But I'm not saying no. I'll think about it. I'll see what I can get done. But like, I've been so waiting for Ash versus Evil Dead and Halloween that there's no way I'm not playing that on Friday. So that is taking ultimate priority. But I'll already have Sonic because I'm picking up both at once. Okay, so getting back, Ys 10 Nordics. Now, this game has a huge release disparity between the release packages. There's 3 versions of the game. Now, I didn't look at all of them, but the cheapest version is $59.99, which is a standard release, and it goes all the way up to $129.99 for the like ultimate deluxe whatever edition that has like a ton of cosmetic upgrades in it. Like they're selling cosmetics packs for like $17.99 a piece. It's insane. I didn't know they were selling that much stuff for Ys Nordics, but so the ultimate version is $129.99. What I was saying is Ys 9, this is Ys 10. Ys 9, when it came out, did have performance issues on the Switch and did take a few patches. So I'm wondering how the demo plays. And I'm wondering if they sort of sorted it out, because if they're using the same engine and maybe the same like level of detail, maybe they've sorted it out so the 10 will run like straight out top notch. But it is something to be aware of, that this game could have performance issues on the Switch, at least at launch, and they could maybe be fixed later on, or it could maybe run well from the start. I'm going to put myself back where I'm supposed to be. But just keep it in mind for this one, okay? That I can't guarantee you good performance from the start, because the 9th was did have some issues at the start. This is an action RPG if you weren't aware. Sorry, because I like jumped straight into it. I just assume everyone's played an Ys game at this point. And I know I shouldn't assume that, but part of my brain did.
Coming October 25th, 2024 to Nintendo Switch.
So the E series is a very long-running action RPG series. It is one of the best long-running action RPG series. Look, I'm not gonna hide behind anything and say it is a very, very, very good action RPG series. And am I saying it's the best? No, but it is one of the best. Like, it's easily like a top 10 if we're talking about series. I'm not talking about top 10 individual games. I'm talking the ease as a series. Long going series, it is definitely among the top 10. So am I confident that the 10th entry is going to be good? Most likely. Performance on the Switch? Question mark. Also, if you're new to the series and you're really not sure, $60 can feel like a lot to drop on a game. Well, the good news is that you have a lot of other entries on the Switch, starting with Ys Origins, which is like a remake of the first game that when it's on sale can hit as low as $6. And you also have Ys 8 and Ys 9, which often go on sale around $20. So the one thing I would say is that if you are totally unsure about the Ys series and you're like, I don't want to drop $60, wait a week or two. Or like, I would say worst come a month, because we're going to get into Black Friday season. And it's guaranteed that you can most likely pick up Ys 8 or Ys 9 for around $20 or Ys Origins for $6. And it's an excellent way to try out the series and say, I like this. Maybe it's worth picking up the 10th entry. And they generally have a continuation to the storyline, so they are tied together, so it is worth playing the earlier games. It's not like Final Fantasy where they're often totally disconnected one from another. There is some worthwhileness in this series to play the earlier games. They aren't required because each game can be a standalone, but there is like more of a connection if you played multiple. What I would say is the best one, the one I enjoyed the most. I'm still going to say Ys 8, just because I played less of Ys 9, because when I had time to play it, it had performance issues, and I never really got back into it after that. So for me, it's still the 8, but I heard that the 9 gets better. It's just I didn't get far enough into it. Yeah, so I would have, but I would have said that like the 8 I played all the way through, and I was like in it from beginning to end. But I heard that the 10th entry is supposed to be really good as well. I heard that the 10th entry is supposed to be really, really good as well. And yes, apparently you can switch characters during combat this time. Woo! Okay, guys. We made it. We made it. And for 1 week this week, there's no avoid game. I could have put avoid games, but honestly, with this many games on the list, I felt bad doing the avoid list. The only one I would have actually put on the avoid list is the Smurfs game, is if the demo hadn't been so goddamn good. And when I say avoid, it would have been more like a be careful list. But I did not put it on because when I played the demo, it was freaking good. And look, I went out of my way to play the demo because I had such a big question mark because of the publisher for that game. Which, like I said, I don't want to badmouth them because Microids is not the worst. It's just that sometimes they seem to push out games that aren't totally running well on the Switch. But I do still think they try to respect the IPs. They just like eventually push out the games because they're like, look, they got to go out the door. I think that's what happens. Okay, guys. Whew. We made it. We are all alive. It's been a long night. Hey, we've been at this for like 3 hours now total. I think we've been streaming, right? Like, no, 2 hours, 35 minutes. Whew, guys. I'm all like I said, I'm almost looking forward to the month of January where we're going to be looking at like 7 or 8 really, like focused games. And we're going to have time to talk more about drama and stuff. Not because I don't love looking at the games. It's just like, oh my God, guys, it was really, really a huge list, and think of it. Look at all the games we looked at. What should I have cut out? Like, all of these games were interesting enough that I felt I couldn't cut out any of these games. We are getting a massive week on the Switch. So people who say they can't find something to play, it's like really hard. Between this and the games on sale, I don't see how right now you can't find something to play. So yeah, getting back to the community night idea. So, well, let's just wrap it up. So that was this week's list of great new Nintendo Switch games. As usual, all the trailers are linked down below in the description of the video if you want to check them out for yourself, if they got muted or whatnot. Okay. Now, let's talk about community night. Now, I want to... we can talk about it, but I do want to try and put this as a semi-long-term plan, okay? I'll explain why. We're getting into the worst season possible for me trying to find time to work on... to do something like a community night, okay? Just because Black Friday season is right around the corner, there's already massive sales hitting the eShop, so I don't want to promise to do a community night and then turn out that a huge eShop, like a huge sale hits the eShop, and I have to cancel it because I have to work on a video, okay? So when I'm saying that I'm super interested in a community night, number one, there is a Discord channel. It's on the link to the on the channel page. There's a link to the invitation, or you can probably get an invite from someone who's on the Discord server. But there is I do want to talk about it. However, I'm gonna say I think I want to like look at it semi-long term, in the sense getting ready for the month of January, February to do community nights. And it could be something that we could do repetitively. The only thing is I don't think that I can get it going in November or December, okay? Because it's, you know, also family time around Christmas. I'm most likely going to have a pretty light week, like a couple of pretty light weeks around Christmas. Then right after that, it's Boxing Day sales. So like, you understand, like it's like insane times right now where it's like not the right time to start something new like that. But if you get to the Discord server, it is something that I'm going to try to set up possibly in the future. January, February. And you know what? From time to time, if community night really gets interesting, something you guys want to do, I know the point is to play with me there, but if ever eventually you guys want to do it sometimes without me, it's something that you could do as well. Like we could nominate like a couple of community night responsible people, where if I'm not available but you guys still want to do a community night, you could do it as well. Because I think that could be a really good idea as well. I think that could be a really good idea as well. Not because I want to throw it off to someone else, but I don't want, if you guys really get into it, I don't want it to always necessarily depend 100% on my availability, because it's just a question that like, I always forget how to freaking invite someone to the server. I do it like I'm not. Give me a second. Invite people. Discord link to Discord server is in the chat. But I always forget where the freaking button is to invite. But basically, that's what I was gonna say, is like it's something too that eventually, like maybe if you guys like start playing together a lot and you guys like it, you could even like nominate a responsible person other than myself and get them going. Like maybe if when we, you know, like I'll give you an example. If I say, okay, I can do like one community night once a month on Wednesdays or something like that, or I'm saying once a month, but it could be twice a month, whatnot. But you guys are like, oh, we'd like to do it every week. Well, the 1 week that I'm not there, someone else can get nominated, choose a game, get things going, get people in the Discord server, in the voice channels, and you know what I mean. Like I think it could be an awesome idea overall. And, you know, like, I want to be there from time to time, but at the same time, maybe you guys are going to want to do it more often than I can. Or even like smaller groups, like maybe not everyone's going to be available the same night, so you guys can get things organized. Yeah, I don't play Mario Party. People gave me so much shit for Mario Party, for saying that I didn't want to play Mario Party last week. I'm saying so much shit. It wasn't that bad, but that was probably the most constant comment last week, where people trying to convince me to play Mario Party, and I get it. I actually, I might try Jamboree. I just don't. I feel like I have trouble paying a $60 for a game that feels like it's just a compilation of mini games. You know what I mean? It's like it, and it's. I know everyone's gonna tell me, but Mario Party's worth it. I get it. It's just like, I don't know. I have trouble playing $60 for a game that I have to play with other people, and that it feels like it's just a compilation of mini games. And I know it's not just that, but I can't get it out of my brain. So it's not to diss Mario Party, because I know it's more than that. It's just the way I feel about it. So it's like, I think if I want to pick up Jamboree, it has to be on sale. I have to get it on sale, and then I have to be like, oh, okay. Now I feel good about my purchase. Oh, and there's another thing I want to swing by you guys, and I just want to know. Give me a sec. I posted, like, I just want to be honest, like, a lot of people, like, I posted this for the Halloween pick, and yes, it is an AI generated photo, okay? But it's an AI generated photo that I generated myself. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, oh, anyone can generate AI photos. Honestly, generating quality AI photos are harder than you think. Or I find is harder than you think. And I personally have no problem with AI art. But enough, like, I didn't get a lot of comments, but out of the 8 comments, 2 were like, AI art really not cool, and ew, AI art. And I just, like, I want to know what your guys' takes on it is, because I really enjoy playing with AI art. I find I find AI art is fun to generate. And I'm not talking about stealing someone's job here. Like, I get how people don't like AI art by principle, because they're like, oh, it's stealing jobs from artists. But I'll be honest with you, as a small YouTuber, I don't have money to commission original artwork. And sometimes I have ideas in my brain that I'd love to have for artwork on the channels or for eShop deals. So I will generate some parts of the art with AI. And I don't know, is it really something that's that bad? Because I don't see a problem with AI art, as long as I'm not trying to pass this off as if I'm, you know, like, if someone says, is this AI art? I'll be like, yeah, it's AI art. I'm not trying to fake it, or I'm not trying to pretend like it's not AI art. And I think that if it wasn't for this pumpkin, you wouldn't know that's AI art. Because I know this pumpkin came out a little funky, but I think if it wasn't for that one, I think if it wasn't for this pumpkin that was a little fucked up in the face, no one would have known this was AI art, or wouldn't have been definite that it was AI art. And I looked at the cashiers filling something. I hate AI. Yeah, I get the feeling that people have with AI. I just feel like... And look, some people are going to probably say this is a really bad take. But I feel like AI is the future no matter which way we look at it. The earlier you get into using it and knowing how to use it, the better you're going to set yourself up. And I'm gonna, and look, I'm gonna say this is like, to me, what it feels like partially is when cars started coming out, if people said, "Oh my God, I don't want to buy a car because we're gonna start breeding less horses," like, do you understand what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that when cars started coming out, some people were resisting it, saying, well, no, horses, horses are a partner, and like horses are have these advantages, and what's going to happen, like, horse breeders are going to be out of jobs and whatnot. Like, I'm not saying it's a 1-for-1 like connect, but you understand that eventually cars just were the way to go. And yes, that meant that nowadays far less horse breeders than there were back in the day. And unfortunately, horses lost their jobs. And I know it's horses and we're talking about people. Yeah, I understand. And I understand what you're saying, Nexus Creed. And I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. Because, I mean, your mind's going to be made up. Your mind's going to be made up. I know there's some things. I'm just trying to say, like, I have zero artistic talent, but I have great ideas. And I'm saying I have great ideas. I often visualize incredible things, but I know I don't have the artistic talent to put it on paper. Like, I could show you how I draw things, and I do find that you're right. If you just say, give me the picture of Mario, that's garbage. But if you start playing, like, you might believe it or not, but and I can show you, like, I could show you the chat log with what you might call it, with Mid-Journey, but this took me like 20 iterations before I got an image that I really liked with a Mario and like some other characters in Halloween designs. So I agree that the effort of drawing is not there, but I'll just tell you, I cannot draw. Like, I've tried to teach myself to draw, and I still draw like shit. I understand, and that's where I think that you're right. Like, I don't think this is infringing in the sense that it's a fun photo with Mario, and I'm not trying to, like, I'm not selling this to anyone. And that's what I'm sort of saying. Like, I would use AI to enhance my thumbnails. And just to let you know, most of the thumbnails, I'll generate parts with AI, but other parts I'm not. And Photoshop is already using AI for most of its functions, by the way. So even people who say, hey, I don't use AI, if you're using Photoshop, if you're using Photoshop, you're already using AI for a lot of stuff, but it's fine. I just sort of wanted I wanted like a feeling, because I'm not thinking it's going to be an issue, and I'm not going to really stop generating fun pictures with AI because I find it's fun and it makes better thumbnails when I can't find the image I have in my brain. It's facial tracking, and it's a blender. It's a blender program. It's a blender program that had facial tracking. But honestly, I've stopped doing them for a little while because they were taking too much time, and a lot of people were loving them, and a lot of people were hating them. I'm just gonna tell you guys honestly, and I felt sad when I temporarily started doing them, but how can I say? I can see in the videos where the most people. I can see in the videos when the moment that most people stop watching the video is, and most people, like, the highest decline happened during those skits. So that's why for the moment they're gone, and I'm most likely gonna bring them back. I'm gonna bring them back when we get the Switch 2, and the hype for the Switch gets back up there. Yeah, no, I love them. Honestly, I really, really like those videos. I still have all of them. Don't worry, they're not gone. They're all like still in my files and stuff. I really like them, and I really like doing them, and I find it funny. It's just I think some of the younger audience, what happens is they don't know those movies as well as we do, and they were disconnecting for some reason. But it's always tough, with YouTube. It's like you do some things, some people love it. You do other things, other people hate it. Like the AI art. I'll just be honest with you. Let's just go look at my videos. I want to show you guys what I mean. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted to show. Doesn't matter. Your channel. Videos. Okay. Just to show you guys, like this, the Michael Myers versus Ash is AI generated. The new Switch games, this thumbnail here, it's almost, this one is probably one of the most entirely artificially generated ones that I have here. This is AI art of Ash versus Michael Myers. The Laura is artificially generated. The Laura in the Laura Croft thumbnail here, she's artificially generated. However, I edited the Switch in. The Switch I made, like I put in myself. I took a PNG of a Switch and I put it in her hands. So I photo edit, like it's a mix of photo editing and Laura. You can tell, like if you're looking at the thumbnail from far, you can tell that the coloring and the shadows are way different on the Switch than on Laura. But basically, I added the Switch in her hands. She was holding some other tablet type thing. This is actually AI generated, but honestly that week I could not find any game that had a decent thumbnail. The ones I'm not, because these are all real. These are all real, like real images. But sometimes, especially weeks that there are no good images for some games, I'll try and generate one. But it's just, I wanted to say, like, you know, I think I like it. You like the deepfakes. I know a lot. I know a lot of the longtime viewers like the deepfakes, because I think a lot of people, like, whether you want or not, I think a lot of people that connect with me long term, we all love like 80s, 90s movies. Like we have a lot of common interests in the 80s, 90s movies. And whether you want or not, I think you guys must somewhat connect with my personality, and my personality is I'm like that. Like I'm very like unserious, you know what I mean? Like I like dumb, like little deep fakes and stuff like that because I find it funny. It's funny. I'm putting myself on Bruce Lee and I'm kicking somebody's butt. You know what I mean? Like it's funny. So I do know that the long-term viewers agree with me. Exactly. We all agree that the Green Ranger kicks the White Ranger's ass because the Green Ranger was the best version of Tommy ever. But yeah. And like I said, so I hear you guys and I know they will come back. What I might actually do is try to blend them in from time to time, but not in every video, so that the same ones come back less often. I'm going to try to make more, but it's like, it's something that it's fun to do, but if I put too much time on that, I make less videos. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that it's like controlled where it doesn't slow down the video production, and I'll put one in from time to time. So it's going to be a surprise, sort of like the sizzle reels, which I love doing the sizzle reels, but I've got to tell you, at one point they were becoming very redundant. Like for me, I would look at a sizzle reel and over the same month, like I hate having the same game twice in a sizzle reel in the same month. And to find enough games to fill the sizzle reel, I had to put games like never 2 videos in a row, but sometimes like every third video, like some games would come back. Also, thank you for well, all those games are great, and it's like so it's all a question of like just making sure that things always feel fresh and fun. That is the hardest thing of balancing like something like eShop deals is you don't want people to feel like you're doing low effort content giving the same games out. But at the same time you only want to suggest good games, and at one point there are some weeks where you run out of good games that you haven't talked about. You know what I mean? So then you're like, either I talk about 4 or 5 games that I always talk about, but I'm sure that they're good games, or exactly. And right now you can see that the eShop outside of these big sales has really slowed down. Developers are not like pushing sales as much and stuff like that, and it's and basically I do think sizzle reels will come back on a much more regular basis. Number one, we're getting into Black Friday season. During Black Friday seals, there's probably going to be sizzle reels in each and every video, and then probably in Switch 2, I'm going to try to have them there at least like 50% of the time. Exactly. And it's because I don't want that feeling. You know what I mean? To me, I think that's the worst thing I would want, is where someone watches the videos and says like, oh, I've seen this sizzle reel before. To me, like, I would be like, that to me, it's like I failed. You understand? And obviously it's going to happen eventually that you've seen a lot of the games before, because at one point, like I said, the point isn't about just taking 20 random games. It's taking 20 good games. Exactly. We've seen all the games. Like, honestly, it's getting harder and harder to find a good game outside of the ones that are immediately releasing now. It's harder to find good games that I haven't already played or that I haven't already featured. It's getting harder and harder. I managed to find like 1 or 2 every now and then. No, I don't take it as a knock. It's just that's where we're at. Yeah, I know. I can't wait for the Switch 2 as well. Like, just for general content on the Switch, like, views are down a lot. So I really can't wait till the Switch 2 hits, just because we need that hype train to go back up, where I can do different videos. Because right now I find that if I do a video that's too different, there isn't enough general interest in the Switch where it's going to take off. So I really have to focus on deals, reviews, and I have a ton of unboxings. I'd have to turn the camera around and show you my unboxing table. It's insane. I'm so behind. Hold on. Maybe I can. Do I have the? Do I have the other camera set up? Let me just see something here. I just want to see if I can show you guys quick with the other camera. Let's just see if my... you might not see me for a while, really quickly, but give me a second. It's this one. Why is it not showing up? This is so free. This one's so freaking annoying to use. Okay, no, this is my camera. Give me a second, guys. I just want to see if I can get this working really quick, because I could show you my unboxing table, which is like right on the other side of me here. Like, what the heck is wrong with this thing? Every time I try to... Because plan B... No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. It's like it's not connected. Give me a sec. Okay, now it's working on there. Ten seconds and we will see. Oh yes, I got it. Haha. Victory. Ooh. So, by the way, hold on. By the way, I super cleaned up the studio. So like everything is like, I know it doesn't look like it, but everything is perfectly in order now, where you can actually walk all around the studio. And that is my unboxing table. Like it is packed with stuff. I basically have, hold on. Let's move. Are you guys ready for like a... You guys can't hear me, can you? I'm like, are you guys ready for like a roller coaster ride? Oh my god, did I mute the microphone? I think I did. Ugh. I saw the no sound after that. My bad. What did I do here? That's why it's backwards. What did I do to the... Oh, that's because I put the other camera. Okay. Boom, back to normal. My bad. I know I hit the sound. I don't know when. My bad. At one point I hit the mute button on the microphone and I didn't realize it. But yeah, so basically I have like the Street Fighter figures. I have 2 like Gundam model type Pokemon stuff. Nixie sent me like 3 versions of the Warrior wireless Wavebird controller. PDP sent me the controller, the Minecraft controller with the case. No, it's I basically, this is the only thing I hate about this mic. Is that the mute button is tactile. It's not like a real button. So if your finger just like gets too close to it, it mutes the microphone. It's happened to me a couple of times before on stream. I love the Shure microphone for the quality and the ease of use, but that's the one thing I don't like, is I would rather it be a real button than be tactile. I find that tactile for a microphone doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense because like I sometimes have to move the mic, and if I grab it in the wrong place, it mutes it. So sorry about that. So yeah, basically Nixie wireless controllers. Then PDP sent me a special, special. It's like their new edition of the Minecraft controllers, and there's actually a gacha mechanic in it where when you open the controller, you can only see one half of the controller, and as you can see, there's like a world inside the controller. Well, the other half is either you have the normal spawns or you have the rare spawns, and you don't know till you actually open the controller. And they send me the case with it, for the PDB case for the Switch. I think that's going to be like a fun unboxing, and I'm going to review the controller at the same time. Like I'm not going to do a full controller review, like that takes like 3 weeks, because either way, it's more of an aesthetic controller than a play it controller. What I'm going to do is I'm going to like unbox it, take the controller, use it for like a day or two, and then give my thoughts on how the controller work. Of course, but no, it's not. I'm gonna unbox it, man. You don't even know it's the rare spawn till you open it, man. I don't think those controllers are gonna be rare. What are they, rare? The PDP controllers, like, because I don't think they would send me a controller that if they aren't readily available. PDP, Minecraft, the Realms, says currently unavailable, but basically this is the controller that they sent me. But yeah. Okay, so hey guys, I think we're gonna call it a night though. It is 1:48 p.m. where I am, a.m. where I am. Hey, thank you by the way for the $2. You didn't have to do that though. Like, if you wanted to give me the $2, that's good. But you know, just tell me there was no mic. I'm so sorry. That was my fault. But thank you nonetheless for the $2, Frenchy Mom. Very appreciated once again. But yeah, so sorry. That was less cool because I thought you guys could hear me. I put like the microphone up here and I had it like next to the camera. So theoretically it was close enough so you guys could hear me, although probably less. But anyway, I'll try to be better organized next time if I do want to do a studio tour. But like I said, the studio is actually clear now. I can actually move around. So if we want to do a studio tour, it would be actually a lot better than the last time I did one where everything was a mess and disgusting. And that's why it took me so long to do it, because I was actually embarrassed to show like how much of a mess everything was. Now everything actually has a place. Okay, guys. Hey, I read your comments saying that it was like 2021. Honestly, it's just, it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel that way. And look, the one thing I will agree, I was mistaken, dude. That it's been 3 years since the latest Mario Party. It just really didn't feel that way. Maybe, I don't know if they did DLC or something that wanted to, that made it feel. But I do still think that Mario Party could be a DLC only game. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the evolutions from one game to another, yeah. But yeah, you're right. Like, I was wrong. 3 years. 3 years makes sense. No, it was time for a new game. It's all good. It's just that, honestly, even I remember when I saw the trailer during the Indie Direct, I thought it was DLC. I remember that the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, we're getting DLC for Superstars," and then at the end they're like, "Oh, it's a new game," and I was like, "What? Oh, okay, we're getting a new game. Nice." But I literally, if you watch that reaction video, I literally thought it was DLC the whole time through. But dude, like I said, I get it, and I probably am gonna try it when it goes on sale. I'll give the benefit of the doubt. I'll try another Mario Party because everyone's saying it's the best one, but I'm gonna wait till it's on sale. I can't bring myself to pay $60 for it, and that's me. I'm, like I said, nothing against anyone who loves it and wants to pay $60 for it. I just feel like I am not gonna pay $60 for it. Okay, guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I can keep going, so I'm gonna cut it out here because or else we're gonna keep chatting some more. I had a lot of fun with everyone tonight. I hope you guys found at least 1 or 2 Switch games that are coming up this week that look good. Friday is going to be a big night. We're gonna play some Halloween. We're gonna play some Ash versus the Evil Dead. Hopefully, no controllers will lose their lives and only bad guys will lose their lives. Actually, no, good guys, because if we're playing Michael Myers, Michael Myers, we're actually killing the good guys, which is awesome. Ash is killing the bad guys, though. So it's going to be like a mix of both. It's going to be a mix of both. But, oh, and what is it? I have Last Fate that I really want to play. I bought the physical edition of Last Fate, and I really want to play that one on stream, and I still haven't found time to do it. Like, I have so many games that I would have really wanted to play on stream. Oh, and I didn't unbox Balatro yet either. I think I'm going to film that really fast tomorrow because I really want to try Balatro. And I still haven't tried it because I haven't had time to film the unboxing. So I really have to do that tomorrow. Even if I don't put out the video, I have to film the unboxing so I can actually play the freaking game. And I'm probably going to mix that. I'm going to do an unboxing of the Balatro physical edition. And then I'm going to like mix in like my first impressions of the gameplay. To make it a little more spicy, a little more interesting. Okay, Topaz, down. Have a great one, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Hope I see you all on Friday, and as usual, hope I see you as well. I guess that's a weird exit in my next video, guys. Let's just end it.